Hello. Hello, hello. Hey, guys. Hello, hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, hello, hello. Hello. How is everybody? Hello in Florida and Chicago. Yeah. Yeah, it was, Mariah. That was weird. Hello in Virginia and Tennessee. Oh, the hurricane. That's right. How are you guys doing down there? Hello. Hello in Canada and Minnesota. Nothing yet? Okay, good. Hello. Hello, Lisa. Let me see. Where is... Hello. Everyone's panic buying. Oh, don't you love when that happens? Save the toilet paper. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello in Pennsylvania. Hello, Kathleen in Kansas City. Hello, guys. Hey. Hello in the UK. Thank you, Donna Marie. Thank you, Loki's girl. Thank you, thank you. Aw, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Donna Marie. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Silent Val. Thank you, Tonks. Hello in Michigan. You guys have some storms coming out tonight? Thank you, Shy Girl. Thank you. Hello in Iowa. Hello, PA. Thank you, Miss Michelle. Hello in Kentucky. Moo is right here on the chair to the side of me. He'll get up here once he realizes the camera's on, though. He usually does. Your hurricane ready, Mercy? I hope you guys are all okay. That's supposed to be bad, that one, right? Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Donna Marie. Thank you. I was not kicked off last night, guys. My phone, the battery died, and then when I tried to get back on, it was already too late, and I was like, you know what? I was so tired last night, I'm like, I'll let them know tomorrow. But I wasn't kicked off, no. Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, thank you. No, I wasn't booted. My phone was died, and I was like trying to like put the thing in really quick, and then it went. I wasn't paying attention. And then, you know, when you start and it's sitting at like 2%, and I was like, if I go on now with 2%, it'll drain too fast. So I was like, I was going to wait a while, but then I got tired, and I was like, thank you, thank you. And so I ended up just going to bed. Oh, what happened there? That was all kinds of weird. I don't, why would you come on here and even like say something so stupid? You know, it was like, I don't know how you thought you were going to look, but good wasn't it? So there's that. Jackie, where is Jackie? Let me see if I can request her. She's here somewhere. What was that? Thank you, Jessie. Thank you, thank you. Oh, is that goal thing again? That just scared me. Thank you, guys. You love to listen to what I have to say? Well, I got so much to say. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Mama Bean. Thank you, thank you. Where is Jackie? Let me see if I can find Jackie. Where's my... Let me see if I can find her. Hold on. Guess what? My baby turned 16 today. My little girl turned 16. The tea tonight. Well, which one do you want? Can I just tell you guys, I really don't comment on like all the creator nonsense. Like I keep to my own little world, right? Thank you, Christina. Yeah, my baby turned 16. But it's just been a mess on these TikTok streets, man. Like what is happening? You know what I mean? It's just been a mess. You guys obviously know I just came from, thank you guys. Yes, Sweet 16. We'll have something for her on Saturday, but today, I ended up cooking a big dinner. All of my kids were over, my grandkids. It was a full house. 20 pounds of meatloaf. So there's that. Jackie's in here. She'll come up. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, today was a busy day, but I'm telling you, I just came from Sir Morbid's live, guys. What is happening? I mean, and that's nothing against, not against him. I just feel bad for the poor guy. Like, are we really sending out cease and desist letters now? I mean, are we for real? Like, dude, it's TikTok. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Slim. Like, dude, who knew you needed to be lock and loaded and ready to go on TikTok, man? Like, are we, like, that's craziness. Like, this is all crazy. I can't, who the hell wants that nonsense? I got too much shit going on in my life. I can't even. If you want to know, head over to Sir Morbid's live. You'll see there. I'm just saying, I see a couple of you that were in there, over there. And so that's why I'm bringing it up, because a lot of you were over in his live. And god damn, man. I mean, I'm some 40 years old. I ain't trying to even like make life that serious. It's just not worth the nonsense drama. So y'all, if we could just hang out over here and stay out of the drama, that'd be a plan. Yes, you guys saw that. Marcellus Williams was executed 6 p.m. Central Time, I believe, today. Before that, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected 2 appeals for a stay of execution. The prosecutor that originally prosecuted him and the victim's family was like, no, don't do it. Do not execute him, because there was evidence that he didn't do it. There was no fingerprints found on the weapon. Just absolutely crazy. Absolutely insane. I mean, there's so much into that, but it's absolutely awful. First of all, if I don't think that you should be executed if the evidence is not plain as day. Like, I get life in prison, maybe, like, if you know what I mean, but there were no fingerprints on a weapon. Like, you should need fingerprints on a weapon. You should need, like, obvious evidence. And so there wasn't. Like, those things weren't there. And so how do you put somebody to death when just the fact that you know what I mean, that evidence really wasn't there? There's always going to be a little bit of doubt. And if there's a little bit of doubt, you're playing with someone's life, though. So I have so many problems with our judicial system, I'll tell you right now.
Wasn't it like a full white jury or something?
So, and then that played a big deal in it. The jury, I think there was only 1 black person, the rest were all white. 6 black people were knocked off they took them off the jury. And 1 guy was removed because they said he resembled Marcellus Williams too much.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And I'm absolutely not, you know what I mean? I don't want to sit there and say that, but that was literally in the article I read, which is the only reason I'm bringing it up, was because they did that was a big deal, was to knock would say they wanted it to be a full white jury. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up, was that it was made a point to say that they wanted an all white jury. So yeah, that was crazy though.
It's interesting
Which
that it's the
again,
state of Missouri that did it, though.
in Missouri, in the same state that let Gypsy Rose out of prison. Think
Mm-hmm.
about that, guys. What is wrong? What is happening here?
I was shocked that he actually died. I was like, oh my goodness.
If there's even the slightest possibility that this man didn't do it, and there was, then give him life in prison, but not the death penalty. You can't, stick a needle in somebody's arm if there is even the slightest possibility.
I'm shocked,
And it
really.
was the same state that let Gypsy Rose out of prison in 8 years for her unaliving.
Yeah.
Think about that, guys. Thank you, Miss Michelle. Think about that. Because if this state ain't all over, if this state's messing up so bad. Thank you, Susan. Missouri ain't, it's not where it's at for justice. I'm just saying.
I'm never visiting.
They took that man's life, but Gypsy Rose Blanchard got 8 years. Yeah. Yep. And I don't feel like, and again, I'm only stating this by the little bit that I looked into it. I did not look into it that much, but all I do know was there were no fingerprints on the weapon. The evidence was definitely questionable. And I think in that case, you can't take someone's life unless you absolutely know. Now, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, I believe, should have gotten a lethal injection because there was no question on whether she did it or not. But the man that you can question whether or not he actually did it had a needle put in his arm today, with his son yesterday having to speak on his father, knowing that his father was going to die today at 6 p.m. Like, think about that. And that bitch is walking around talking about, oh, leave her be, let her live her life now. Marcellus Williams is dead. And it was questionable. Unless we know for an absolute fact, then it's always a question on whether or not he actually did it. Now, Gypsy Rose, we know for a fact that you actually did it. Just saying.
Do you think there's going to be riots?
Don't tell me she didn't put the jabber in him, because without her, it would not have happened. And so you were the same difference. But she got out in 8 years. Figure that one out. Somebody explain that to me. The same state. Somebody explain that to me. The same state that has Nicholas Godejohn. Somebody explain that to me. Thank you.
I'm surprised they're not rioting yet. I would have thought that would have happened. Like, is it gonna? I don't know if it's gonna happen. The riots.
They had 1.5 million signatures on the the petition. 1.5 million on a petition. Didn't do nothing.
And they still put the needle in his arm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, yeah, that's absolutely disgusting to me. Absolutely crazy. So that really got to me today. That really, it was very upsetting, because again, I could see if you caught him on camera. I can see if if he admitted to it. I can see if the circumstances were a little bit different, but if there's even the slightest question of doubt, and again, there's got to be, because you didn't actually see him do it. How do you sentence somebody to death? Now, I get life in prison and let him go through his appeal process or whatever, like, still, because at least you get to live then. But lethal injection? When you know what I mean? Like, when there was no solid proof, you didn't catch him, it wasn't a definite. Absolutely is disgusting. Absolutely was disgusting. Thank you, Krista. And then that chick gets to walk around pack pads and...
Didn't you say?
Huh?
Didn't you said that the victim's family didn't even...
The victim's family said, no, don't execute him. No. They were like, no, don't do it. Like, there's new evidence. Like, there's evidence coming out. Like, there's evidence out there. Like, hold on, don't do it. The prosecutor that originally had him convicted was like, no, don't do it. He needs a stay of execution. Do not do it. And they did it.
Hey, is the same person governor? Is it the same governor that gave Gypsy 8 years with the plea deal?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Okay, because I just wanted
But
to know.
I'm not sure. But I know that they were trying to get a stay in Missouri, and then the governor changed out, and then the next governor was like, no, no, no. It is Mike Parsons, so then yeah, I guess it is the same governor. Ain't he a piece of shit?
Well, he's on my shit list.
What? That's what I'm saying. Somebody, the feds, somebody needs to look into that man.
Exactly.
Somebody needs to
Like,
look
is
into
he
that
getting
thing.
paid
Like,
off?
seriously.
Like, what is this guy? He's like, you're going to give that bitch a plea deal for 8 years and send this man to the chambers? What?
When we know for a fact she's guilty, there is no question.
You
With
admitted
this
it.
man, there's a question, and you just put a needle in his arm.
Oh.
It's absolutely crazy. It is the same governor. Yeah, of course it is. Well, yeah. Absolutely disgusting. You just Googled it? Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but so yeah, I guess it is.
So it's the same guy. That's, oh my
Same
God.
guy. Same guy. Now, let me ask you this. Would Gypsy had gotten off if she was a man?
Well, if he had a Mickey Mouse voice and was like, "Please, sir, don't kill me," do you think that he would have got off? I don't know. Like, this is ridiculous.
I just don't understand. There was no definite that this man did it. I mean, yeah, there was a whole trial, but we know how juries and like see things, and how there's certain evidence that's kept out. There's certain stuff that's kept from the jury. There's certain absolutely not okay, in my opinion. That man should not have died. I'm sorry, and I'll say it till the cows come home. No, you know what I mean?
There was too much reasonable doubt, and in your country, reasonable doubt.
Potentially. You know what I mean? It could be a race thing, but I mean, again, I'm not going to go there. I just know that they were playing games with the jury, and of course they did. The lawyer and the governor stuck together. Absolutely.
1998.
Too much gas. I just don't understand. I want to sit down with these people and be like, your ass backwards. Whoever's writing these fucking laws and who's ever, coming up with these fucking decisions is ass backwards. You are letting the person who without a doubt anywhere did it out in 8 years to be rich and live this fucked up, trashy life. But the man who did actually have a doubt that he didn't, it was possible that he could not have done that. There was doubt there. You took his life. He had a child. He had a family. The victim's family said, don't do it. The prosecutor was like, hold on. Wait, we might have made a mistake here. And then there's Ivory Rose, who without a doubt is guilty as fuck, without a doubt, admitted to it. And we're just like, yeah, okay. Let her get out in 8 years and become a bitch influencer and fucking talk shit and do her fucking shit nonsense. Well, this man went and died when there was doubt. The role should have been reversed. She should have got the needle in her arm, in my opinion. And that man should have been at the least, he should have got life in prison.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, at least give him life in prison and let him live to maybe prove his potential innocence. You know what I mean? But if there's a question there, the government just murdered a man when there was doubt. There was no absolute evidence against him. So someone explain this shit to me.
The Innocent Project was even helping him.
Somebody explain this shit to me. If there's one person in the goddamn world who has freaking doubt that it's possible that maybe he didn't, just for 1 second. He was not caught on a videotape. He was not caught, he did not, they didn't catch him. He wasn't caught in the act. Like he didn't confess. Like I don't understand. It makes me so angry. It makes me so angry. And this chick is walking around talking about, let me live my life. Bitch, no. Bitch, no, you don't deserve it. It is a privilege you don't deserve. Just saying. Just my opinion. Even the prosecutor who originally charged and had him convicted said, hold on, wait a minute. No, no, no. The victim's family was like, wait, no, no, no. And so we put a needle in his arm, because why not? But yet the one we know who did it without a doubt because she confessed it is out at a fucking LSU game. Like, someone tell me how this shit happened.
Didn't even want it. You know how you said about the prosecutor? The prosecutor, the original prosecutor, was like, no, please don't kill him. Like, the original prosecutor. But yet this guy
from parole again. I saw that in Hot Mom.
Like, what?
I just don't understand our judicial system. It pisses me off. I want to know how somebody can make sense of that. And even if for a second, like, there wasn't new evidence and we really did think he did it, but with a little bit of doubt, a possibility, a smidgen of a damn possibility, you can't take someone's life, because what makes the government any less of a murderer than Gypsy Rose? Or, you know, Manson or anybody or whoever. Like, you just murdered a man. That was murder because there was a possibility he didn't do it. And you murdered him. So what makes us any less, you know, what makes them any worse than us? I'm just saying. I'm really angry. This really, really got to me tonight. Really did. And it's not, I mean, I've seen so many cases like this over the years. It's not like this is the first one. Like, I've seen so many people put to death that shouldn't, that there was a possibility. So I just don't get it. I just, you know. And again, in the same damn state, ain't that some shit?
And the same guy?
Thank you. Same governor, yep. Absolutely ridiculous.
What's going on with that?
Nobody is like, whoa, wait a second. You know? Absolutely. It's crazy. It makes me so angry. So, I don't know. So that happened today. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you. Then you have, so Carly Gregg, guys. Carly Gregg, thank you, Onward. I appreciate you. Carly Gregg, her mother did, in fact, have a life insurance policy. How crazy is that? Thank you, Paige. Thank you, Camille. Thank you. But Carly Gregg's mother absolutely did have a life insurance policy. Yep. But Heath Smiley was not the beneficiary. It was Carly Gregg that was the beneficiary. And I can't intelligently speak about insurance policies. I know mine. You know what I mean? And even then I got some questions. But I know, because she unalived her mother, that I don't believe she can receive it. Now, someone tell me if I'm wrong, but because she unalived, right, because she unalived her mother, I don't believe that she can receive the money. Because, I mean, you can't get a life insurance. Why we'd all be walking around offing people and hoping we get out in 8 years and then be collecting, right?
Can he get it if he's her guardian?
So my whole thing, but I don't know that he is actually a guardian. But now my question is, does it go to her estate then? What happens to that money? Does it, because her husband would be the next of kin, or does it just go to her estate when they settle her estate, whoever, because you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that works. I really have to look into that. I was trying to read up on it today, but it was a tad bit confusing. Because some people were saying, some of the things were saying that it can go to the estate and be left with the estate, and then whoever deals with the estate. or I don't know if he was a secondary, the secondary beneficiary, because I
Contested?
know my life insurance policy, I have three. So all I know is that she was the primary beneficiary of the life insurance policy. I don't know how much it was.
Can he contest the will? Like,
Goes to her state and burial and anything she owes, and then if it's not, does what happens to the rest of the money? Like, would that just go to the next of kin, whoever receives her estate, like whoever takes over what she owns? I don't know if ultimately it can go to him. See, that's where I'm not sure. So I don't want to lie to you guys. It just, I would think that, because I would think that if I paid all that money into life insurance policy and I own the life insurance policy, and we're going to say, Jackie, you're my beneficiary, but you can't have it. You're not here. Something happened. Well, then what happens to my life insurance policy? I just wasted all that money for years. Well, if I don't have a secondary, wouldn't it go to my estate? And then whoever comes and claims the estate and whatnot gets that money? Would it go, you know what I mean? Say you were my kid and I was married to this man and you're the beneficiary, but you're not here anymore and can't have it. Would my husband, who gets the rest of my estate, would that go with him? I don't know.
well, the only thing I know about wills is that, like, a will is
I don't
different
think
or
she
whatever.
will.
Uh,
Yeah.
My friend, she got like $250,000, right? And then her own dad contested it, and then he got the 250 grand because he contested it. But life insurance policies, I don't know how they work.
Life insurance policies, when you die, they pay off the money for you to whatever whatever it was worth at that at that time. There's different life insurance policies that are worth different when it's, but so I'm not sure how that all like works out with her estate. Like, I don't know who owned the home. I want to say that maybe she did before the husband, because again, they were only together 3 years. So would the parents maybe get these? I don't know how that works. All I know is he was not the beneficiary. The policies, hold on. That sounded like it was the policyholder's estate or contingent beneficiaries receive the benefit per rule. Right. I don't know who the yeah. I mean, her estate, I'm assuming, would go to her husband, because I believe her husband would be her next of kin. And her husband would be her next of kin even before the daughter. So, you know what I mean? Like, my husband is my next of kin, not my children, right? So I'm not sure about that. I'll do some more looking into that. I actually have, I'm going to call my lawyer tomorrow, and see if I can catch her on lunch and, ask her about it. So, I mean, they absolutely could fight it. I'm just not sure. My main question is, can he ultimately get the money? So, I was just wondering. I mean, so that really didn't change my opinion of him very much, though, because I don't know that it was ultimately for money. I don't know what the motive was yet. I'm not sure, but I really feel like he was involved. Nobody can convince me otherwise, not at this point. He could sue for who? Right, he could sue her. Who could he sue for a wrongful death? The daughter, maybe, possibly, but she can't receive that money. That money does not go to her, so then where does it go? He can't sue her for it because she's never going to own it. She can't own it. So that's why I'm just like, I have to there's a lot more answers I need before I even try to speak intelligently on life insurance policies and estates and stuff. I only know like how mine works, to be honest. So, right, it has to go somewhere, you would think. So I'm not sure, but I'm going to look into it because I'm really curious. What was the other thing I wanted to say about that? Also, everybody was asking if Heath Smiley paid for her lawyer. He did not. Heath Smiley did not pay for Carly Gregg's lawyer. I agree, Amy. Absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Paige. He did not pay for her lawyer. The grandparents did not pay for her lawyer. The lawyer's doing it pro bono for her. So the lawyer's doing it for her for free, because she didn't qualify for a public defender because her family had assets. But they didn't pay for a lawyer for her, and so the lawyer did it pro bono. So absolutely, Raylan. What I found even more crazy was that the judge put a no contact order in place when she was arrested. There could be no contact between Heath Smiley and Carly Gregg. He tried to have that overturned. The judge said no. He went and he paid for his own lawyer to have that overturned so he can speak to her, and has spoken to her every day since. He paid for a lawyer, his own lawyer, to rescind that no contact order so he can speak with her, and has since spoken to her every single day. Are you okay, Jackie?
Yeah, I'm fine.
But yeah, isn't that so?
Why? What's wrong?
I just heard it sounded like you were like the cat was maybe licking the phone or something.
Oh no! No. Milo was up against the screen and he was like headbutting it, and I was trying to move the. I'm thinking,
Oh.
what?
Sounds like a ketchup bottle, right? That's exactly what it sounded like.
Sorry, guys.
It did, yeah. But
Sorry.
yeah, isn't that? I feel like you're needing to talk to her every single day, and you're paying for a lawyer to be able to speak with her. What was so important that you needed to speak with her, first of all? But I think that's a little bit suspicious to me. I don't know that I would. I would almost feel like if a judge had a no contact order between me and my stepchild after what had happened, I would almost feel like that judge was letting me off the hook, because then I don't feel pressured into having a fake relationship when I'm angry. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's like, it's almost like, oh, you let me off the hook because, I don't even have to worry about trying and going there and being fake or angry or whatever, because you're not going to let me do it anyway. So it's like, whatever, but you literally paid for your own lawyer to have it rescinded, to have it taken down, to have it taken back. And that's crazy to me. And then I've talked to her in prison every day. What is a stepfather of only 3 years speaking to a 15-year-old girl in prison about? Somebody, anybody?
Oh, about the toy collection.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Hopefully, she's only 14. She's not gonna he's gonna be like, sure, she can't say things over the phone. Like, what if she says the wrong thing over the phone? She's 14. She doesn't understand.
I don't. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Archie. I don't know that. Can you tape a minor's telephone calls? I don't know.
Well, they're in prison, so I don't know. Like, if
But
it's
she's
a
not
prison.
yet. She doesn't go to an adult prison until next week. She is not shipped off to adult prison for another week. She is still in the detention center. So I
Oh
don't
my
know
God.
that minors in a detention center can have their telephone calls recorded.
I didn't know that they
I
could put her
can't
in
speak. Again, I
adult
can't
prison.
speak on this intelligently. So somebody who knows, maybe you would have better knowledge than me, but I don't think you can record, because kids are kids. Like if you're sitting there, kids can say things that are just not so smart, and they're just saying things that are like, they're kids. They're saying
What
things like
state?
wise asses. They're saying things that, can you really take a kid there? You know what I mean?
What
So I
state
don't
did this
know.
happen in? Because then you can look up, can she be recorded in that state? Like, what was the state?
I've been looking at states and their judicial. I don't know. What state was that? Guys, Ohio? No. Mississippi? Mississippi, right? Yes, it was Mississippi.
Okay, so
I keep wanting to put this girl in Ohio. What happened in Ohio that I keep wanting to put people in Ohio today?
someone just Googled it. Someone just Googled it and said, yes, phone calls made by minors in jail can be recorded.
They can.
But
Okay. All right. In the detention centers, yes. All right. So maybe they can be. I believe all inmates. It's possible. I just didn't know. I would think for kids, like, you know what I mean? Because you can have some kids in a detention center that are like 10, 11, like little ones. And like, I would think that like kids can say things that are like, so maybe, I don't know if they're monitored, and I don't know. I just feel like the rules should be a little bit different for kids because kids can say some stupid crap, and it's
I
like
thought that she was going to stay in a detention centre until she was like 18. Then she was going to go to jail.
that's what I thought. I thought they would keep her in a detention center until she's 18, but no. Next week she will go to an adult facility. Yeah, an adult prison. Absolutely.
I wonder
Yes.
how that.
Yeah, I'm not lying. I watched the interview with the lawyer today. So Melanie Little, guys, did an interview with Carly Gregg's lawyer. That's where I'm getting all this from. So go watch her over on YouTube. It says it all in there. That's where I got this from. And whoever sent that to me, kudos to you. Thank you. So next week she will be transferred to an adult prison. Which how does a 15-year-old girl walk around right in an adult prison? I just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's too appropriate because there are some women that can't handle women prisons. And now you've got this scared little kid that is vulnerable because it's a kid. She's a kid regardless. And so I feel like her juvenile or her age makes her vulnerable.
You want to know the worst thing? If they put her into protective custody, because I don't know how America works, but over here, if you go into protective custody, you're in with the baby killers and the baby, you know what I mean? Like those weird women.
She would be in protective custody.
But she's 14 years old, like after, like what happens if some of the girls jump her or whatever, you know what I mean? Like if she goes to protective,
I think she has a better chance out getting jumped than she does.
Yeah, like if they put her in, but she's stuffed either way because if they put her in with the pedos, like she's screwed. And if they put her in Gen Pop, she's screwed. Like either way,
literally, she's screwed. Unfortunately, and that wasn't a laugh too. Like I think it's funny because that was not funny. I wasn't laughing because I thought it was funny. I'm just like, it's unbelievable. It was more of like an anger laugh, like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And as much as I think this girl deserves to be in prison, now I do. You know what I mean. But she's still a kid though, and so there's got to be a humane process for her. You know.
Jumping in with the SOs, that's not justice. Putting her in there, come on, she's 14 or she's 15 now, but you know.
She got 2 life sentences plus 10 years for evidence tampering. Who's paying for her clothes?
Oh, my Team package is here.
Was there any evidence prior that she might have done this? So I'm going to be honest completely. As much as I want to say that, that the stepfather's guilty or whatever, she did have, I know she had some kind of like mental health. I don't know. She like flipped out on the mother like a year or so before, was like completely flipping out. I do know she has a history of depression. She has a history of being a cutter. She was on depression medication, and stuff like that. So, her behaviors could have possibly have been a little bit of a red flag that this was possible. But then I also believe that that was also a red flag that because Smiley would have known that she could have snapped. Does that make sense? Like Smiley could have known that she was a potential danger and used that to his. She's so excited about that Timu package, guys. We're just gonna let her open that Timu package before we move on because
no. I was listening. I just wanted to see what was in it.
Just kidding.
Did you just see my address?
She was, as from what I know, it was a low dose. The biological dad, as far as I know, the mother and him had a messed up relationship. Heath Smiley testified to the fact that he was a drug addict and had a criminal history. I, however, can't prove any of that, or not yet at least. But he did testify to that on the stand. They did allegedly just switched her meds, but and again, I don't know for a fact what dosage they gave her, but usually when you switch medication, you start off with the lowest dose possible, and then you up it as you need to. So I don't see that being like a reason for her to do this. I don't see that.
Guys, look how big my feet are. Look how big that foot is.
Is this the cinnamon
Sorry.
foot? What is this? What? She did put the camera in the fridge. Trying to, I don't know what she was trying to do with it there. Trying to, I don't know. Like they weren't going to look in the fridge. Who knows? Um, but again, and again, who testified? I think the doctor, the psychologist, I believe it was the psychologist who testified that she was a promiscuous kid, is what they testified to, and that was from a psychological assessment, I believe, that they did with her. I do know. So then she's obviously sexually active and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Or I believe. She had toys in the drawer. Yes, she did. And they did find them. And so, yes, that is fact. Also, you could see it in that interview. And again, who was it that made the comment? Mom, who was it that made that comment before? I don't remember. Was like, well, kids, who was it? And she was right, but to an extent, I feel like. I saw the comment. I don't remember who it was. That kids could, kids experiment with themselves and they do all that. I'm trying not to get kicked off, so I'm trying to say this in a clean way. And they do. They absolutely experiment with themselves and go there. Absolutely. That hurts mom, yes. So I absolutely agree. But as far as I don't know, I feel like to have those kind of toys in your house, I don't know. It's possible. You know what I mean? But at 14 years old, isn't that a little advanced for that age? Or am I just old people?
You're not old people because I have a 15-year-old son. If he said to me, Mum, can you go to the Smek shopping? No!
Well, but again, honestly speaking, though,
Sorry, no.
I understand the curiosity and that they're going to explore and do all that. I really do. But the whole toy thing at that age, I just feel is a little bit that's a little young.
No. Nope.
And you know what, Amy, you're absolutely right. It's definitely possible, but it's almost like, where was she getting this kind of experience that it takes to even have the guts? I mean, I don't know about you. I knew what they were at that age, but was I actually going to buy them and use them? I'd be fucking scared that my mother would open that drawer and what? Holy hell. My mother would have a heart attack. So I don't know if, where is she coming up with this experience of even knowing what to get, I don't, part of me is where'd you get it from? I don't think the mother bought it. You know what I mean? Could she have gotten it from somewhere? Yeah. Could somebody have given it to her? Possibly. You know what I mean? That's just one of those things that are just neither here nor there. I just feel like that's a little bit more experience than I would think that this 14-year-old seems to be. When you look at her, the way she acts, the way she was writing in her journal, these things didn't lead me to somebody who had that much experience with self-exploration, that she would know to go out and buy a toy and do all you know what I mean? I don't know. 14 is the new 20, definitely. Yeah. I don't know, not in my house though. So, but I know that these kids are walking around looking, yeah. I definitely did not look like that when I was what?
I don't understand this day and age.
See, that's what I'm saying. Who just said that? Alyssa just said at 14, my mother wouldn't even leave me at the mall by myself. Yeah, I just let my daughter just turned 16 today, and it was only a few months ago I let her go to the mall with her friends by herself, and there couldn't be less than 4 friends. You know what I mean? So it's where are you going? I think I'm projecting this onto my kid. I'm equating my daughter who's 16, actually 2 years older than where she was at the time. And I'm looking at my kid going, I don't see that. But I'm also not that parent that doesn't believe my kid knows more than I think she knows. So I'm kind of on the fence with it. But is the promiscuity at that age can definitely be was there some kind of sexual relationship happening. I don't know.
You want to be able to feel that your kids can come to you, but like, I don't know,
Jamie,
like
that's where
why
I'm going with
is
this.
it full on?
Hold on. Tiffany's saying, can I please? Let me bring up Tiffany. Oh, excuse me. Didn't she? I don't know if the boyfriend was.
Can y'all hear me?
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So I had two things that I wanted to speak on. First, the life insurance thing. I just did mine. So, and I know everybody's is different, like especially in different states. But me and my husband just did ours, and we are each other's beneficiaries.
Okay.
But on the chance that something were to happen to us, it would automatically go to our next of kin, which would be our children.
Right.
If they are underage, it would go into a trust until they are of age. But anything that is owed, any debt we've collected, house, cars, funeral expenses, will be paid off first.
Right.
So I would assume, being that she's the beneficiary, she cannot get it because she was found guilty. It would go to first her estate, what she owes, and then whatever's left, if any, go to her husband because he is next of kin.
See, that's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering.
Right.
But,
I mean,
like,
that's how I understood it. And it,
who, because her estate could also be, can go to somebody, you know what I mean? Like, who's the heir to her estate? Because she can name this whole separate heir. So then,
she could. It would just depend on if she did.
Right.
You know, and I mean, if her daughter was the sole heir, then it would automatically go to her husband. Now, I mean, her family, like mom, parents or sisters, brothers, they could fight it, but
it would go to the estate, but I don't know, again, I don't know if he would be the automatic heir to that, or if she would be the heir to the, I don't know how that works.
I'm not sure how it works in Mississippi. I know, I know in Tennessee, which is where I live, your spouse is your automatic next of kin. So if you do not specifically name someone, then it automatically goes to your spouse. Now, your family outside of that can fight it, but
Right.
it doesn't necessarily mean that they would win.
Yeah, see, like, even if he gets it, I'm wondering, like, well, it was murder, so no, she wouldn't even get it just because, not just because she's in prison, it's because she did, she would never get it, period.
She would only be able to get it if she was found not guilty.
Right.
So I would assume that in most
So
cases he would get it.
Ultimately, he would get it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's crazy to me.
But on the prison situation, so I don't know if you're familiar with the name Holly Harvey.
No.
But I personally know her. She murdered her grandparents in Georgia. She was I think she was 14 or 15 at the time. She did it with her girlfriend, Sandra Ketchum. You'll have to look it up. It's all, they did like a whole snapped show. There's a book. There's a few documentaries out. Anyways, I personally know her. And she was either 14 or 15 when she did it. And as soon as she was found guilty, she went to prison and was like adult prison. She was in juvenile until she was found guilty, and she went to adult prison, and she was like in there with everybody.
Yeah.
Mingling around. There was no separation. Like, I think she was probably 16 when she finally went into the prison itself with the adult women.
Yeah.
And there was no separation at all.
I feel like that's a little bit too young to put into an adult prison.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I guess if you do something like schmurder that's on adult level anyway, you could probably, I don't know. I'm conflicted there, I think, a little bit. Like,
I agree. I think that there's a line that shouldn't be crossed, you know. I mean, at the same time, like, you did an adult act, so I get it.
Right?
But you're still a child. You still have a childlike mind, and you're going to be surrounded by all these adults who are criminals that are probably going to try to take advantage of someone who is not mentally developed completely.
Right.
Which in her case has happened to her. I still have contact with her. We still talk on the phone and things like that. So, but she's a good case. I think you would be interested in. I mean, it's old.
Can I ask why? Do you know why she did it?
So I know what she says, and she's always admitted that she's done it, but she's never admitted that it was because of what the media says. So the media says that basically her grandparents were very religious. Her grandparents had custody of her. Her mom was in and out of prison and things like that. And her grandparents were very religious and didn't want her in I'm trying to say it without getting you kicked off, in a GAY relationship.
Okay.
And so they try to keep them separated, her and her co-defendant, which is Sandra Ketchum, the girl that did it with her.
Mm-hmm.
They try to keep them separated. They wasn't going for it. They planned the murder for that reason, basically, to sum it up really fast. She says that is not entirely true. Mm-hmm. She says that they were very religious and very strict, and they didn't want her seeing the other girl. But she was also essayed by some of her mom's boyfriends who she used to buy shmugs from.
The girl, the granddaughter.
The granddaughter, yes. So her biological mother used to buy shmugs from a bunch of guys who essayed Holly. Okay. And so she kind of had like mental problems. She was on medicine. She was on different medicines and stuff like that for mental health issues. But she was also smoking MJ and doing other things like that. And those things mixed with the medication that she was on for her mental health, she said drove her kind of crazy. And she said she started hearing and seeing things, and ultimately that's what made her do it.
Yeah. Wow. How long ago was this? Can I ask?
It was like early 2000s. I can't remember the exact year, but I want to say maybe like 2005 or 6. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, y'all. That's my little girl crying in the background.
Oh, wow.
It's been a while. It was early 2000s. Yeah. But it's still, I mean, if you can Google.
I definitely want to look into that.
Yeah, just Google Holly Harvey and it'll come up everywhere.
Anybody enough to murder for them?
Do what?
Am I the only one that doesn't love somebody enough to murder for them? Like, I feel like love is crazy. Like, love really makes people go out there and murder people.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't either.
You know what I mean? It's like, maybe I'm missing out on some kind of, like, crazy love. Like, do I not really, is this not really love? Because, like, I don't want to murder for you. Like, and I feel like love, like these crimes happen a lot because of, like, I can't be with this person. And it's like, what are you feeling that I just never felt before, that you could go out and take someone's life, though? You know what I mean? It's just crazy to me. Wow. But I mean, it happens all the time that it's because, like, people can't be together. I mean, again, look at Nick Godejohn. Like, you know what I mean? One of the reasons that it was because Dee Dee said, you know, she was telling Nick that Dee Dee said they couldn't be together and he wanted to be together. So, I mean, this whole Romeo Juliet kind of thing, I don't know. It's just weird. Well, Romeo and Juliet, they didn't off anybody, but you know what you know where I'm going with this. You know what I mean. So I don't know, but I definitely want to look into that one. That one's pretty interesting. So I don't think the hubby is going to get away with this. It's obvious that, guys, I don't care what anybody says. And again, am I basing this right now off of my gut reaction to his reaction to her? Absolutely. Like the whole hiring a lawyer so he can talk to her every day. And I'm quoting Carly Gregg's lawyer that I think it was until June. I think it was in June that she said that when that whole no contact order was finally overturned because he went and got himself a lawyer, hired himself a lawyer. He every single day he talked to her, and he said it on the stand that he talked to her every day, every day. That's crazy. She tried to unalive you, and she unalived your wife. So it's like, I don't know. I consider myself to be a very caring, compassionate person, but it would take me a long time to even like forgive my own kid, biological kid. Forget about someone who doesn't have like a biological tie to me where I feel like I'm being forced to. You know what I mean? Am I making sense to you guys?
Yeah, you're making perfect sense.
You know,
But
like
my thing,
someone just said my stepdad would let me rot, like, right? Because there's no biological, like, he's not her, I don't believe he's her guardian. He's got no legal ties to her because she still has a father, and they had a whole custody thing going on. So it's just weird to me. You are not a parent to her or anything anymore. So you're still talking to her makes me feel like you took yourself out of that like potential parent role and put yourself in a potential whole other role.
right, and why didn't she pew pew him more than once? Like, didn't she pew pew? I haven't followed this case as much, but
So what she
like,
did
didn't she
was
pew pew the mom 3 times?
she put three pew pews in her and told the friend that she was going to put three pew pews into the stepfather. Stepfather goes ahead, he walks in the door and pews him, and um and then wrestles her for the pew pew, and then two more pew pews go off, and he's got a grazed shoulder. So I don't know about you all, but I pew pew this way. So if you're coming at me, all I got to do is this. You know what I
Right,
mean? Even
that's
if
what
you're
I'm
wrestling me
thinking.
around, it's like it's a big guy compared to such a little thing. I feel like, I don't know. Like she was straight on. He was the one who was turned and had the door there and stuff like that. Like he was the one that was blocked and taken by surprise, not her. So I don't know.
Like I said, I haven't followed it much, but my thoughts from the moment that I heard about it was, I think he had something to do with it, or he has something, like he's controlling her in some way.
I completely agree. I really do. I feel like why are you talking to her? What are you saying to her every day? Now I get maybe checking in a couple of times a month, maybe. You know what I mean? I don't even get that, to be honest with you. But we're gonna say that, most people think it's normal that he should maybe check in a couple of times a month. Every day, what the hell are you talking to a 15-year-old girl about?
Right. And how
You
did
know
she
what I
get
mean?
the
It's like
things that,
you only
how
knew
did
her
she
for
get the
three
things that she
years,
had?
okay? And what are you talking to her about? I just, it wasn't like she was a child, and men have the ability when they're little to, you know what I mean? It's not that awkward, so they tend to get closer to the little ones just because it's not awkward. When a teenage girl gets to that, you know what I mean, that really awkward stage, and a lot of girls go through it with their own biological dad, where it's like, okay, I'm getting too old for you to kiss me on the lips now. I'm getting too old to sit on your lap now. Like they go through that normal stage of where it's becoming uncomfortable.
Right.
But, this is a whole stepdad, and I just feel like you should, if that was your real dad, it should be a little awkward, but the stepdad, I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't
Right. I
seem.
have a stepdad who's raised me since I was 5, and I've never been, I mean, I call him dad. Like, he's the only dad that I know, pretty much. I know my biological father, but he's who raised me. But
Right.
I still never had that
That
much of a
same.
connection, like
Yeah.
what my little girl and her dad has. Well, I never had that with my stepfather. And if I was to pew pew my mom, like he would probably forget about me in there.
That's if I pew pewed my mother, my biological father would leave me in there to rot.
Right.
My father wasn't coming to come get me out of jail or calling me every day from prison. Hell no. He'd be like, peace out. And you know what? I really would have to think long and hard about what I would do with my own kid. If you unalived my husband and try to unalive me, if I did speak to you again, I think that it would be a very long time. I would not argue you being in prison because I feel like that's where you belong. And so I don't know that I could ever, it would take me a minute and a lot of praying and a lot of, you know what I mean, therapy for me to be able to forgive you for that. You know, it's like I protected you your whole life and now I don't know. I don't know.
Right. I agree. I have a stepson and I couldn't imagine going and seeing him. Like, I don't know. I'm so on the fence about some stuff, but if he was to like pew pew his dad, I don't feel like
And then
I
attempt
would.
to pew pew you.
Right. I don't feel like I would be supporting him in that way.
Like I said, I don't think I would support my biological child that way.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so really it's like you gotta wonder, like I don't know. None of it makes sense. It just doesn't sit right with me. My gut churns every time I see that man. Like that gut feeling is just something happened there. I don't care. You'll never convince me otherwise because you know what I mean? Like even if he didn't plan, on having her unalive her mother, I still believe something happened between that guy and that little girl.
Yeah, definitely something is going on, and it makes me wonder, like, where is she getting the things that she had, like the toys and
Well, that's what I'm
other the
saying.
other
Because you didn't
things.
walk into a store. Your friend didn't give you one because that's just disgusting. Like,
Right.
you're not borrowing a friend's, like, you know what
I
I
like
mean?
I
So,
have a teenage stepson who, of course, comes across things, not things like that, but
right.
just different different things that you're like, where did you get this from? How did you get this? But definitely nothing on that level.
Mhm.
And someone said in the comments earlier, like, you can even get toys at Walmart now, and you can, but you still have to be ID'd for that.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I guess you could,
somebody at 18, unless you're stealing it,
yeah.
had to show an ID for it.
Not even that, but I feel like at 14, is that really where your mind is? Like, who said it before? Like, using like electric toothbrushes and stuff like that. Like, I can see that as a kid, but getting to the point of like going out and actually getting one, I don't know. It's just, how do you cross over that line as a kid? You know what I mean? Like, I get that. When does it go from experimentation to full out, like, just self pleasure at that point? You know what I mean? Where you
Right.
buy
Someone said she
clothes
just got
and
it on Amazon, which I could see because if she had
possible.
access to like her mom's Amazon account,
But is nobody else worried about somebody else checking? You guys have private Amazon deliveries because if I don't beat my kids home, they're getting opened. You know what
oh,
I mean? My
definitely.
husband has accidentally opened my packages. My kids, what did my mother get? They're opening my packages. I've opened my kids' packages going, I wonder what's in here. You know what I mean?
Of
Is it a replacement
course.
of something she used of mine? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, so it's like you wouldn't be scared. Same reason, like with the whole gypsy mailing knives to the parents' house. Like, no one was afraid somebody was gonna open up an envelope. Like, you guys are some trusting people, because not in my house. They're not that
Right.
trusting.
No, not in mine either. I want to know, like, when did you get a package and how did you get it? What did you get it with?
Right? Your credit cards and stuff like that. Like, no one saw like an Amazon purchase that you just didn't. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of it seems just really, that stepfather just seems really weird.
Anyone find out what credit card was used, if it was the mums or the stepdads?
We don't know if it was ordered on Amazon. We
Yeah,
don't know.
someone
Oh,
just said that in the
okay.
comments. I
Yeah.
don't know if
Oh,
it was or not.
Yeah, we're just running through theories, but it's just, I just feel like that's really advanced for a 14-year-old. Maybe not for a 16, 17, but I feel like 14. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking because I got kids that age and I'm hoping they're not there yet, but I don't know.
I agree. I agree completely. And like I said, my stepson is 16, so I know what he is into. But I think of myself at 14. I didn't have that at 14, and they were definitely around at that time. I'm 38, so I'm not super old. But I didn't have that at 14.
No. No, I was afraid to even have a thought in the head around my parents. Like they could read my mind. Forget about having toys laying in my dresser. There was no doubt in my mind that my mother can read everything I was thinking. She
Oh,
knew
yeah.
what I was thinking. So I wouldn't even think it in my house. Forget about have them in my bedside table. There's just no way. No way. Not even, I mean, no, not in my house. Crosses hanging all over the wall. It wasn't even an idea in my head. It's like,
Yeah. Mine either. Mine either.
I just don't understand how. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. You were busy trying to hide your diary. I didn't. I was afraid. I talked to myself. I spent my entire life talking to myself in my head, just sitting there like talking to myself because I wouldn't dare write that shit down in my house because somebody's gonna find it and someone's gonna read it. And I had 10 brothers and sisters, and I wouldn't even try and have a diary. Like there just wasn't a thing of like privacy in my house. Like I was just terrified. These kids are brazen. They just leave them in their bedside table. Like if my mother sees it, it's whatever. Like if my mother caught me with a Schmeck's toy at 14 years old, oh, I'd still be rolling. You guys wouldn't be able to catch me.
Same. Yeah, and
My
we
mother
didn't
would
have
have.
privacy. Like, I don't know. My mom was completely different. Our bedroom was like her house, and she had every right to go through our bedroom whenever she wanted, and she did.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Same thing with like, I mean, I don't. Yeah, no, I do. I mean, I've had to search my kids' rooms. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but yeah, leave it there. I mean, stick it in a book bag, put it in a locker at school, have your friend take it home for you, bury it in the backyard, something. But just sitting there in a bedside table, I just feels like you weren't afraid of getting caught with it, which means that they knew about it, or somebody knew about it, or I don't know. Yeah, you probably do, Kristen, but I don't know how she got it. I just hope she didn't use somebody else's. Just saying. There's that. But this whole situation just seems really odd to me. The whole hiring a lawyer, like you just tried to unalive me. You unalived my wife. I didn't get the life insurance policy because it went to your scrawny little ass. And now I'm hiring and paying that kind of money for a lawyer so I can speak to her every day.
Yeah, it's strange. I wonder if he had one in secret that no one knew about,
Had what?
like a life insurance policy, which is possible to do. I had a friend, and it wasn't in secret. She had a life insurance policy out on her husband, and he actually died in a car wreck, and he didn't know about it. Like he didn't know about it. His family didn't know about it, and she kind of kept it that way. But he was also like
But can you
on
take a life
drugs, and
insurance policy out on a spouse without their permission? I don't believe you can.
I don't know. She did.
The only person you could take a life insurance policy out on is your child or your grandchild, because I know I have one for my grandkids. So I don't, you can take one out on a spouse? See, I don't know. My spouse is always involved in anything, but
Right. I don't know the ins and outs that far, but I know she had took one out
you can
because
do it
of the
without their
lifestyle he was
permission?
living.
Like you could do it without them knowing? Really?
She did. She did, but only because of the lifestyle he was living. Like he was.
Someone just said, yeah, a lot of murderers do that. Touche! Touche! Listen,
Yeah, but
how
he
do I
was.
find out if my husband's got life insurance? Honey! Listen, who do I call? Is there like a 1-800 number I can call to make sure there's only one policy that I know about? Because if
I
you
don't,
start going up, I'm going to start checking this crap. Where's the lawyer? Yeah,
I don't know. I
listen,
know
can you
that
get
she
another policy
did.
going? Let me know. Like, no, I need to know because if stuff starts rolling uphill, you start like, oh, I'm going to make this $100,000 policy into a 1.5 million. I'll get you first. I'll get you first.
Right. Yeah, for
So,
sure. I know she did because of the lifestyle he was
that just
living.
scared me. Yeah. Someone
And,
just said, I'm scared. Yeah, I'm scared now. Like, you could just take life insurance. Okay, my kids can't though, right? No, because I think it's, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably just spouses. I mean, I don't
But then
know.
my
I'm not
ex-husband teamed
100%
up. You know
sure.
they did. I know they did. I know they teamed up. Oh man, I need to go check. I need
Right.
to check bank accounts, see if there's any weird transactions happening monthly now. Payments are getting higher. Like
So it
New
makes
York
me
Life,
think,
New
did
York
he
Life.
have
How many bills
one?
we getting from them? Did we get an extra one this month?
Right. And it makes me think, did he have one only because of everything going on? Like the
No,
contact
I
that he
didn't
has with
even think. Look at this. They're laughing at me. I didn't even think that. You know what? You really don't have to sign. I don't have to sign nothing.
Mm-mm.
I'm a little disturbed by that. I feel like that should change. It'd probably be a lot less murderers happening.
Well,
Just
you can do
saying.
everything online now. Like you don't even really have to you
Just
don't
saying,
really have
don't
to
be
go into an
greedy.
office anymore.
But like, so he could definitely have a life insurance policy that none of us know about until he's off buying a new Jaguar.
Possibly, yes. That's what I'm saying.
I got a lot of ideas.
My friend got one on her husband because of the lifestyle he was living. Like he was on shrugs and into a bunch of stuff, and she was just worried about something happening to him because of the lifestyle. And just by some freak accident, he just got into a regular old car accident going down the road. Some people that he had nothing to do with was racing and hit him, and it killed him instantly. Oh God, I didn't mean to say killed, but he instantly passed from the car wreck, and she was able to cash that life insurance policy in, and he didn't know about it. I don't know if there's like some stipulations, like because of his lifestyle, and she could prove it because he was in and out of jail. I don't know.
I'm really disturbed by this newfound knowledge.
Right.
It might
Yeah.
be tomorrow, guys. I'm gonna be checking through his drawers and I found any, envelopes. That's crazy. But you know what? I guess you're right, though. Maybe he can. Maybe he can.
But
Yeah.
think about it. There's a lot of people on these documentaries, like these
Yeah, but you
men
would
that,
think that in order to cash out on the life insurance policy, though, somebody would have to show a death certificate and
she
like,
did. My friend showed his death certificate.
so yeah, I guess he's the husband. He would have one. That's crazy. That's crazy.
All she had to do was wait for the investigation and the autopsy to be done and the death certificate to be signed off on and filed with the state or county, I think, something. And then she was able to cash in.
You're hitting the comments. I am absolutely in my own head right now going, if I see one more New York Life envelope this month, that's it, it's on.
You're gonna be going back checking all the bank
I'm really
statements.
like, I am very uncomfortable with the fact that my husband can take a life insurance policy on me. And you
Yeah.
know what? I'll get one on you first, motherfucker. Don't fall down the stairs. No, I'm just kidding. Let me not say that. God forbid my husband ever. Oh my gosh, let me stop now.
Yeah, it's crazy, but you got to think about it. Like there is a lot of people. Just think of the documentaries that you watch on like the ID channel and stuff, and all these men that murder their wives and they cash in these life insurance policies that nobody really knew they had.
But let me ask you this. I'm assuming the investigation, like, wouldn't the cops have asked him, like, and looked into that, right?
I
But I guess he
mean,
wasn't
yeah,
investigated.
possibly,
Like,
but it's
was
not.
he ever a suspect? I don't think he was ever a suspect.
I don't think he was, but it's not so uncommon. So the only time they would really look into it is if he was a suspect, I would assume.
Yeah, that's crazy. He wasn't charged with her murder. No, he wasn't. No, you know he wasn't charged, but was he investigated? Like my
He
do
may
I
not have been, because a lot of cops in these southern small town states, they just want to solve the case.
Get it off the books. They had
and
it.
get it done and win, because it is all about the win for them. It's not so much about the investigation.
Listen, I watch too much TV that if it were me investigating, he would have been guilty until I can prove that he wasn't. That's it. You did it. Like, let's figure out.
Right. I would definitely have questioned, like, how did you not end up? It just looks staged. You were not hurt.
He's laying on the floor. He's laying there. Did anybody see blood in that whole video? Because I didn't see any blood anywhere.
I didn't. I watched the video the other night, and I didn't see blood like that. No, you literally just see like a graze, and a graze is not gonna
Like, he was
bleed like.
came out the door. He's laying on the floor. Like, I was like, oh.
But did you see that he only laid on the floor after the cops got there? Like, he was standing and he opened the door, and then when the cops started talking to him is when he fell.
Did he even, yeah. What was up with that? What's happening here? Like,
It looked staged to me.
And I was expecting to see like blood gushing from somewhere. I didn't even see blood at all. I didn't see any at all. But I was like, come on.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I've never had a PQ wound, so I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
But either way, it was just a graze. And, so think of it like, I'm sure everybody saw the Trump thing when they grazed his ear. Like, his ear didn't even really bleed that much, or the side of his head, wherever. Like, when you see it on national television, the little clips that they showed, it wasn't a whole lot of blood that was on him either.
Yeah.
Because it was a graze. From what we saw on TV. I mean, I don't know how bad it was, but.
What shoulder did he get pew-pewed in? Like, what shoulder did it graze? Does anyone know? I'm trying to think. He was laying on the thing. Was it his right?
I want to say it was his right, but it could have been because it's inverted. The camera turns everything. It could have been his left.
It could have been like, was he right-handed or left-handed? And I got to go look into this now. I think it was his right, but I can shoot with my left. Like,
or they may be. I was just using Trump as an example. I don't know how he got.
Yeah, I don't see him bleeding. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely don't see a lot of blood happening there because, I mean, it was a graze. It was a scratch. Like, put a Band-Aid on it and call it a day there, my friend.
Right. And so someone was saying it bled pretty good. The ear bleeds badly. So I've always heard like ear and head wounds will bleed worse. So that's what I was, I guess, trying to compare it to, is that was a ear head wound and it didn't bleed as bad. So I would assume a shoulder graze would probably just be like a normal cut.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just crazy. I gotta find out though. I need to look it up and find out what side it was on. And look at me trying to be like some Matlock over here. Like, I'm gonna find out what side it's on because could he have done it himself? Like, I'm gonna get this guy. Like, this guy's guilty in my head until I absolutely prove he's not.
I truly feel like he had something going on with her. He may not have planned it. We don't know, but I really feel like he played some kind of part in it.
Yeah.
And maybe mom found out more than just about the toys and the MJ that she had and things like that. That could have been a big factor. Like, what if she found out more than what anybody knows because she took it to the grave?
Right. What if she found out about him and her? And that was going to be a whole conversation. Like,
Right.
what if she had inklings that something was going on between those two, and then she had to be like, bam.
Right. And it could have very well have been. And when I say, what's the word I'm looking for? My mind just went blank.
I just know
No minor can say that they're okay with it. My mind just went blank. I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. But he could have groomed her enough that she thought she wanted it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And got scared that her mom was going to end it if she found out about it. And then what if she found out about it? I mean, it's all speculation, but it just seems sketchy to me.
There's nothing in this journal, but I feel like that journal was a fake, that diary or whatever it was.
Yeah, but do you think she would really write in it? would, like you got to
Oh,
think
that's what I'm saying.
of 14. If you got to think of yourself at 14. At 14, I knew my mom would sneak through my stuff and snoop through my stuff. So I was not writing anything in my diary that I wanted my mom to know.
Or leaving sex toys in the drawer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what
Right.
I don't get. Like, none of that makes sense. Unless she found it, or, you know what I mean? Or knew it was there. There was going to be a conversation to be had that evening. Like, I want to see the video of the days before, the days prior to the unaliving. The home videos. I want to see the conversations at the tables. I want to see the arguments for the few days prior to that. Like, I'm really curious what their interactions with each other were like.
Right. And how they interacted. Like, were they ever home alone? How did they interact with each other when they were?
Yeah.
And then to have the camera like in the kitchen, that's kind of weird to me too. Like, I have cameras, but like, I don't know.
I have
Not
cameras in my house, but they all point at doors or windows.
right. Right.
I don't have any. I have, you know what I mean, except for the entrances upstairs. I don't have any that point at any common areas, and they're not on during the day. They get turned off at a certain time at night. They get turned on because, you know what I mean. You don't need them during the day. Like, we're coming and going. We're here unless nobody's home. You know what I mean? It's just weird to me that you have cameras in your kitchen facing.
Right. That's what I'm wondering. Like, why is there cameras facing that direction? I have cameras too, and they're in.
You would be walking if you walked in the door. That makes no sense to me. That's backwards. Don't you want it facing the door so you can watch who's coming in?
Right. That's how mine is. So,
You know? I don't know. Have they interviewed him at all? Well, he testified and they questioned him and he testified in the trial. I didn't see any kind of like, I mean, I don't think that they like investigated him. I feel like they should have, but I feel like there's got to be more going on than you don't unalive your mother because you were caught with a vape. Let's be real.
somebody said, why do y'all have so many cameras? For security. This world's crazy.
Yeah, because of TikTok, man. I'm getting death threats and no, I'm just kidding. Because I have a lot of kids, and so if I'm not home, I always want to make sure that my kids are protected.
Right. Definitely. I
If
mean,
they're away for overnight, and I have teenagers that can be here by themselves, I still want to make sure everything's good.
right. I originally got mine because someone was like breaking into cars around, not necessarily in my neighborhood, but around my neighborhood. So I originally just started out with a Ring camera so I could see like my driveway and stuff. And, when you buy the Ring, they come with the whole get this and you can upgrade to that and save
I
this
went
and
through
blah,
that,
blah,
yeah.
blah.
Yep, I went through the same thing. Now alarms go off when I open a window for cool air. Yeah,
Right.
I went a little overboard.
Right. So
But
it
it was
was
free,
just
so
a
there's
safety
that.
precaution to begin with. And,
Yeah, then
You
it
know.
just becomes fun,
right. You think you're saving a few dollars.
right? That's what I'm saying. Jackie, you there?
No, it's just the Timu stuff opening it will you guys will just hear plastic rustling, so I kept on mute.
That's okay. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Tiffany, do me a favor. Make sure she doesn't talk about feeding mice to cats.
Okay.
I'll be right back, guys.
Jackie, do your cats hunt the mice?
No. She leaves me with supervised.
So my neighbor,
Continue the conversation.
my
I'm
neighbor
just gonna-
feeds all the
Yeah,
neighborhood cats. Do what, Jackie?
Hold on. They want to. I think they want to see the Timu thing. Hold on.
Oh yeah. What did you get from Timu?
Can you guys see me?
I can't.
All right, hold on. Can you
Jackie,
see me now?
do you play the? Yeah, I can see you now. Do you play the Timu games and get free stuff?
I tried to, but that didn't work for me.
Me either.
All right, hold on.
No, you just, there you go. You're on now.
All right. Okay. So where is it? What the fuck is this? I do not know what this is. I did not order this.
What is that? What is it?
I do not know what is that. Look, she's like preparing herself for the worst because I just want to know what this is. What is it?
Does that have,
I
like,
thought it was a TV aerial, but you stick it in the ground and it lights up.
If someone said it's a solar panel light for your yard, or that's what it looks like.
Is that not what you ordered there, Jack?
Solar
I didn't order
panel
that.
light.
Well, it's free.
Maybe they sent it to you as a free gift for the game.
Babe,
I got bulk socks. I got 20
I'm gonna
socks.
ask my husband about the life insurance. Have you ever opened a life insurance policy on me without me knowing?
Did you hear Ivory?
Are you sure?
I can hear her.
Make sure. Can I really call them? We'll have a drink.
I can see it.
No, can't call
I even
them.
got a
Why
basket
can't I
to
call
put all my
them?
stuff in.
Why can't I call the insurance people, honey?
Oh, and I got this, guys. What the fuck? Have you seen this before?
My husband's like, can I call them, speak to them tomorrow? No. What do you mean no? Why can't I call the insurance people? No.
Is
We should both call them.
that mascara?
Yeah, but it's 5D and it comes with like lash bits. So when you put the lashes on,
Right? How many people just ask their husbands if there's an extra life insurance policy? Don't tell me you all weren't thinking it. I know you were. And I'm going
That's so
to call them
funny.
tomorrow. I'm making a phone call. Just want to make sure. Can I put it
hey, you
somewhere
know that
I don't
life
want when I
insurance
open them?
policy thing? That makes sense because like when I got really sick, like as you guys know, I get really sick with the birth system, my ovaries and shit. My mum was like, if you don't put a life insurance policy on, I'm gonna do it on you because you could pass away. Like my mum was gonna do it on me. I said, you can't do one on me. She's like, yes, I can.
Yeah. I know parents can do it on their children at any age, and I could do it on my grandkids because I have an insurance policy for all of my children and my grandchildren because, their moms were young and they don't have one yet. And so, God forbid, it's like and they can use the money. So it's like, an investment almost. And so I have insurance policies on all of them. But I find it really can I put somewhere that I don't want him to take out a life insurance policy and then the extra ones? Because someone just said I run the finances in my house too. Like I'm the one who does that stuff. So if I find some $1 million policy laying around somewhere, it's on. It's on. You heard it here first. I'm guilty, guys. Don't even come and try and have a theory about my case. I'm telling you now I did it.
I'm not sure.
I got this for Dreamcraft Corner. See? Dream.
That's so
There you
funny.
go, Dreamcraft. I got you a light.
Well, I have one of those. Is it like it projects onto the wall like the stars and stuff?
Yeah, I
Do you
bought
know
it for
if it's gonna-
Dreamcraft Corner.
It's great to have insurance. Let's be real. That's not why he's taking out extra insurance policies on me. Look, I already have my husband convicted, and he didn't even do nothing yet. My husband
The sizings in this is ridiculous.
put me in a shoebox and be like, peace out.
I'm just gonna show you one thing before I stop interrupting you guys with my Temu bullshit. But have a look at this. Does this look so dodgy to you? Hold on, where is it?
What is it?
That looks like, what is that? What is that?
It's like makeup, but like it's literally just a sticker like around.
Oh yeah, don't do that. You're gonna break out.
And then this is, oh my god, the sizing. Like I need to realize the sizings because this right here.
The spouse should have life insurance. That's what I'm saying. It should be illegal to take out a secret life insurance policy. It really should be illegal.
Is that concealer?
Yeah, but it's
How
tiny.
many murders actually go through because they're capable of doing that? Like, you know how many murders might be rethought if they couldn't get an extra life insurance policy?
I feel like with Temu, everything is either oversized or small.
This team doesn't have
I don't feel like anything's regular.
Um,
My husband has insurance on me. I didn't have to sign anything. I think that's crazy. I think
Yeah,
that's
when
crazy.
my husband took one out on me through his job, I didn't have to sign anything.
See,
We did one together, and then he did one separately on me and him through his job, and I did one separately on me and him through my job, and he didn't have to sign anything for me, and I didn't have to sign anything for him.
see, yeah, when I had a life insurance policy and a will and everything before I married my husband, and then he was in the military, so he had a whole life insurance policy. He had all that when he got with me. And then we redid another one, like a whole big joint one, because again, we've had things, accumulate over the years and stuff like that that we needed to fix and edit in there. This is really disturbing to me, though.
I want to know how to do this thing.
I got life insurance, and they came out and took blood work. They came out and did all of the things. No one else gets blood work. Am I the only one that gets blood work when I want life insurance?
No, I didn't have to do blood work. Only
Really?
thing we had to submit was like an updated like physical from the doctor. Or not even a physical, just like the last time we went to the doctor to say, I guess, that we had no like pre-existing issues like cancer or whatever, but we didn't have to sign anything. I literally just did it all online and put the doctor's name, the last time we saw the doctor, and that we had no pre-existing issues, and they could contact the doctor to confirm it.
Oh, they came out and did blood work. They checked my vitals. They pulled out a scale out of her work bag. She pulled out a scale and made me stand on it.
No.
Like, I kid you not. Like, she did a
in my
full
eye and
that.
put them
like snack in my living room.
Someone said they just needed their social and birthday. Yeah, that's all I needed to, and our doctor's name.
But yeah, I don't know about all this. I feel like that should be illegal because, again, how many things go on because of these extra life insurance policies people are taking out? Like, I'm sure my husband would rethink it with having to deal with all the kids if I was gone and not having the extra money. Like, he would totally rethink it if he didn't have the extra money.
Yeah.
So, you know what else was creepy with the whole Carly Gregg thing, though, too? And I have grandchildren. I love my grandsons as much as I love my children. They're just an extension of my children to me. I don't love them any different than I love my kids. And so, but those grandparents were in total support of this girl. That entire trial, joking around with her, talking with her, like, that was really awkward to me, too. Like, nobody seemed upset in his family that this woman was gone. Nobody, I mean, there was no, I mean, the only time I saw the girl cry, and again, I haven't watched it fully through. I watched this testimony and that testimony and here and there, and like I watched it all over the place. But the only time I saw the girl cry was during the 911 call that Pete Smiley made. That was the time I saw her cry.
Yeah, that they played during the trial.
Yes.
That's the only time I saw her cry too.
And then none of the family was like, I would be angry. Because nobody else would feel like they would be angry at these people. Yeah, those were the maternal grandparents.
I mean, I feel like I would be. I don't think that I would. I don't know. I don't want to say that I wouldn't support my daughter if she did something like that. I only have one biological child that's mine. I have a stepson and then a daughter. And I don't know. It's so hard to say what you would do if you're not in that situation. So I don't want to say like I would just be like, well, forget you, but you never know. But I definitely don't feel like I would not have some kind of emotion behind it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want the death penalty. Like, I don't think I can handle that. But at the same point, I'm definitely one, though. If you were caught red-handed and you did it, and it was on video, and peace out, because you made that decision. You know what I mean? And again, I know people are saying that they were trying to argue that she was in some psychotic state, but was she really? I mean, a girl sitting there talking on the phone, you know what I mean? She seemed too calm to be in a psychotic state. Like,
exactly. You can't say she was in a psychotic state. I mean, watch the video. She literally peeked around the corner to see if her mom had come out in the room, went in there, pew-pewed her, hid the pew-pew, and sat down and started texting.
And then was singing to the dogs.
Right.
Like she sang to
Yeah,
the
that
dogs.
was so weird.
Like that was really awkward. And then his testimony and his statement to the police were, when he got home, that she was screaming and crying like she was in fear, like she saw a ghost or a monster or something like that, and she was just screaming and crying. When was she screaming and crying?
Right. Where's the video of that?
When you saw her getting handcuffed and put in a police car, and they were checking her hands for GSR and all that nonsense like that. There wasn't crying happening there. All she did was, is my stepfather okay? She wasn't crying there. She wasn't crying in the house when she unalived her mother and then went back into the room. So what is this crying that he supposedly saw? When was she crying? She didn't cry during the goddamn trial. So when was this crying that he said that she was doing? Was there crying? I don't believe that there was
I
crying.
never saw any crying except at the trial. That's the only crying I saw.
Yep. And the 911 call was just I don't know. It was just weird.
It was very weird. It was.
What was in that call? Because I didn't actually get to hear that. Did you? Like, what was the 911 call?
It was. He called 911 and said that the mother had been pew-pewed and that she ran into the woods, I think, or something. Or maybe he said that when the cops got there.
Yeah.
They play it in the trial. If you Google,
they say that she ran out the back door, but the back door was locked.
Right. So he said that she ran out of the back door, but when the cops showed up, the cops went to the back door, and the cops were saying that there was no way because the back door was locked. But I mean, I don't know if he locked the door after she ran out, or I think that's what he was trying to say. Or maybe that's what they played it off as, like after she ran out and jumped the fence, he locked the door.
Did the cops call him out in the lie? Is that what you mean?
Possibly.
Well, it's all on YouTube, like the tape from when
it's on Court TV, yeah.
Yeah, when the tape from when the cops showed up is on YouTube, which is where I saw it, and the cop was saying, you can hear him in the background saying, he said she ran out the back door and jumped the fence, but the back door is locked. I don't think she did that. So it was almost kind of like the initial cop was kind of questioning his story, but I don't think it ever went any further than that.
He also stated, though, that after she attempted to pew-pew him and took the gun from her, got the gun away from her, right, wrestled it away from her, whatever, and she was so scared and crying and whatever, and she ran out the back door, that he walked around the house because he thought there was an intruder in the house, was his statement. And that he didn't notice the burner phone sitting there, and that he was like checking all the rooms, and it wasn't until after he checked everything that he realized the wife was gone off in the bedroom. Like, you checked everywhere except for right around that right corner by the kitchen first, and then, or was that to give her time to see if I don't know.
Yeah, and then why would you think that's an intruder if she was the one that attacked you?
Mm-hmm. And then Michelle just asked, was there any statement from the friends? Yes. They were questioned on the stand, but it was you couldn't see it because they were minors, so they didn't show us the minors being questioned on the stand.
That minor, was that the little girl that saw the mums? Okay.
Yeah, and I think she ran home and told her parents.
Friends, because I think that one was being texted and couldn't come, I believe, because again, it was redacted.
Yeah, she texted a couple of friends, but only one showed up.
Right. So I didn't get to watch that because it wasn't there for the minors, but I believe that one was being questioned because of like the phone calls and the text messages that were going through, and she said it was an emergency and whatnot. Yeah, it's from 16, yeah. Yeah. So again, and then it goes back to the whole, well, why do you have loaded guns in the house? Like just sitting there perfectly, all ready to go.
Right. That is my question. And I don't have guns in my house. I'm terrified of guns, so I don't keep them in my house. But if I did, I feel like, why are they not locked up? Is that just a thing that we do now? We just leave them randomly loaded around the house?
Especially if they're trying to say that she had a history of acting unstable, mentally unstable is what they were trying to say. And she had a history of throwing temper tantrums, and she was on all these medications. Well, then why would you keep a gun out in the open, locked, loaded, ready to go for somebody to pick up who was mentally unstable, who you considered to be mentally unstable?
Didn't she have a gun under the bed?
It was under the mattress. They kept it. Supposedly, though, the mother kept it under the mattress because she was afraid of the stepfather. I mean, the real father, the ex-husband. Which I don't know. I don't know. Why would the husband not? Let me tell you something. If I was afraid of somebody coming in my house, my ex-husband, sorry there, but because I know he's watching, but if I was afraid of him coming over and pew-pewing me, my husband would lay there in the bed first with the pew-pew. Not I would be laying with it under my pillow, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, that just all seems awkward to me. Like, my husband would be the one probably take control of that, know where it is, be able to reach it if he needs to, probably locked away in a safe by next to his bed if he needed to grab it. But that just doesn't make sense to me that, you were trying to claim that the mother knew and everybody knew that this child was mentally unstable, yet you had a loaded gun in the house. Multiple, not just one.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I don't understand any parent, and no offense to anybody that has guns that are not locked up, but I just personally do not understand why anyone has them and they're not locked up. If
You
there's
guys have to
children
have
in
them
the
in a
house.
case. Over here, we've got to have them in like a gun case.
Well, you should have them in a gun case here too, and I believe, I don't know if it might be a state thing. I know we have to have them locked up in a case if there's children in the house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think in Tennessee, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I don't own any, so like I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I have family members who have them, and I don't think they keep them locked up, but they don't have kids in the house either. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, the bio dad is supposedly, from what Heath Smiley testified to in court, he was like a drug addict, not really there for her. Although they were fighting over custody, so I don't know what that was all about, or like there was some issues, because if you look at it, supposedly she was visiting the dad or had visitation with the dad, but the dad was a no-show according to Heath, like he didn't show up for her. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. No gun case, but I'm like, yeah. See, I don't know.
Yeah, if someone said the problem wasn't the guns, no, I don't think anybody is saying that the guns are the problem. I'm just saying, personally,
Leaving
I
them
don't
where
think
children
guns
can
should
be
be
found.
out where
Children can
children
find them
can
is a
get
problem,
them.
though.
Yeah, I heard the stepfather say that the bio father let her drink a beer at 12. Like, yeah, was that ever confirmed? I don't know. That's just, maybe bio dad was actually pissed off because he thought something was going on with the new stepfather and the daughter. Just saying.
Oh, someone said Mississippi doesn't have a gun storage law. Isn't that where Mississippi was where she was at?
Daphne, you heard him say what on the stand? Daphne said, I don't know. I heard him say it on the stand. Say what? Sincere, can I say something super quick? Yeah, did you want to come up?
Oh, yeah, you can let me down so someone else can come up. I've been up here a while. But look up Holly Harvey for sure.
Absolutely, Tiffany. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello.
Yay. Okay. So I was trying to say something yesterday and my mom's like, you should tell her. And like, she's waiting with me too out here. But, so you know how you were talking about the toys or whatever, or that was in her room. So apparently, I don't know if it's came out to where everybody can see it, but apparently she also had her tatas pierced. Have you seen that?
No.
Yes, girl. And she's 14. Yes, I'm not kidding. Like, I've seen this in multiple places already. And I'm like, okay, so she was hiding that from her mom too. So like all of this stuff being super hyper like that at that age is weird.
Don't you need to have that signed for to get that done?
I mean, she could have had a friend do it, could have done it
Oh,
herself. Uh-huh. Girl. But that's not normal for a 14-year-old to be doing things like
I
that either.
know, but that's what I'm saying. That's really young.
Man.
Like, is the hypersexuality that she was experiencing with toys and piercings and all of this and that have to do with some, you know,
Something.
stepdad?
All the
You
Right.
know what
All
I
the kids
mean?
I grew up with that started acting like that at a young age, things were happening to them. So like something was definitely going on. But she could have went to Spencer's in the mall and bought something like that too, but like actually doing something like that, because I guess like when they had to take her in and like you have to take off all your stuff and everything, they noticed that. And I
Yeah.
guess that was during like the whole court case that they brought that up. We just haven't seen all that yet. But that
You
is
gotta
bizarre to me.
wonder. You gotta wonder if mom couldn't have known about that. I don't see a mom knowing about that and being okay with it.
No,
But at
no.
14, your mom's also not checking you because you're getting dressed by yourself at that point, and like it's easy to hide. She could have done it herself.
Yep, it's gross and weird. And outside of that, I was watching the thing after the verdict. The lady that was the attorney for the stepdad said that she has been in isolation for 189 days, and they're going to continue to keep her there until she's 18, solitary until she's 18. Can you imagine? I mean, I'm
Where?
not
A detention
in
center?
yeah. Uh-huh.
So I heard the interview with her lawyer
Mm-hmm.
today, stating that she's only in detention until next week and she's going to an adult.
Oh. Wow. Okay, I haven't heard that one. Wow, what do you think about
That's
that?
Melanie Little was a lawyer over on YouTube who interviewed Carly Gregg's lawyer.
Okay.
And I feel like,
Well,
but I did hear something about her being in solitary for a little while.
yeah,
So I
that's
did
crazy.
hear
That'll
about
make you
her
go
being in
crazy if you weren't
solitary.
already.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like you're saying, this girl's got, she had psychotic episodes and she had all this like psychological issues wrong with her. And you're going to lock her into solitary? Like, that's not very smart. Like, what are you waiting to happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, girl. So you said something the other night and it just made me think, and my mom was listening to it too, where you brought up like that's that look that you've seen before when you're a girl. That guy gives you that look. And I couldn't stop thinking about that because I'm like, that's real. But I know for me, I'm a very kind person like you. I don't know how I'd react in that situation either as a step parent, if I
Right.
were a step parent. But you see all the pictures because I guess she cut her hair like a week or something before she did all this too,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like she looks so sweet with the long hair, and it's like, I don't know. And I was thinking about her picking her face in solitary that 189 days because
Is
she was
that
in
what?
court looking that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. She was going crazy in there.
That's crazy. I don't know. Yeah, but I wonder, yeah, what was up with the chopping of the hair and like,
I mean,
did
I
they,
think that's a weird thing. At least she didn't shave her head bald or something, but I think they would have listened to the insanity thing had she done something wild like that. But I
right.
don't know. Wow.
The
Yeah.
part of me wants to, I want to say that, like, yeah, she had psychotic break. Like, I would love to say that and give reason. Because I
Yeah.
feel like I'm really upset because I don't see a motive. I don't see a clear motive here.
Right. Well, I've
And so
seen kids flip out. I substitute teach sometimes when I'm not busy at my other job, and I see kids in middle school and high school, and these kids are a whole new breed of kids. And honestly, when you put them on antidepressants and things like that that mess with their little brains, there's
Yeah.
no telling because they tapered her off of something. But that I wonder what medication. Here, remember the guy that did the thing in Georgia recently, the kid at school, he was on medication too.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe, you know, I wonder if
Maybe.
there's something like genetically that causes some of these kids to chemically react differently.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I just feel like she's
Oh,
getting look out of it though. I know she
mhm.
claims that she had blocked out for 90 for what for like she said she had blacked out for like 90 minutes or something like that. I believe she
I
said
don't
she
know.
doesn't have any memory or
I bet
whatever.
she does. I bet
But
she does, though.
she was not in that kitchen looking like somebody who just was on some kind of psychotic break. She
I
was
felt so
so
sorry for those
comfortable
dogs.
and so like just hanging out nonchalant, like whatever. She knew what she was doing. texting. She knew phone. Like, you know what I mean? It was just all awkward.
Has the dad done anything during the trial? Like, was he involved at all? Has he visited her or talked to her? I wonder.
Not that I saw.
Yeah.
And
So,
again,
like,
I watched it, but I watched it in like chops here, chops there. I
right.
haven't actually watched the whole thing through, but not that I know of. I don't believe he was involved in anything.
I thought it was interesting when the stepdad was describing her real dad, and you mentioned the beer just now and things like that. But he kind of sounded like maybe something was going on gross, but between like the dad and her. I don't know if you heard that.
So you think that the stepfather was trying to insinuate something going on between the biological dad and?
Yeah, I need to find that video. But yeah, I watched that a couple different times where he said like the dad acted a little different like that towards her. And there was a psychologist that was talking about the dad not paying attention to her, sitting in a chair by herself, not feeding her, things like that. But like, I don't know. I think this little girl, she's different for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I think the whole piercing thing is weird, though. That's what I wanted to say. I was like, oh my God, she's 14 and doing this stuff. Like, her mom should have caught on to a lot more than just the vapes.
That makes me think hypersexuality, and that makes me think like she might, again, they were saying that the psychologist said that she was promiscuous. So it's like when you're that promiscuous and you're doing the things like that, it really makes me like, who was the secret boyfriend you were in a relationship with? It wasn't that one guy kid who came to the house, because that
Right.
was a secret because the mother and the stepfather knew about him. So I guess you gotta wonder who this other guy that she was infatuated with was.
Yes, right.
The stepfather.
I wonder what kids are saying in school, you know?
Yeah.
I bet if I was a teacher there, I'd hear a couple things, you know?
Right around those small towns, people are talking.
What a mess, girl. Well, I had a good time talking to you.
Thank you. Me
I
too. I
appreciate
appreciate it. Come back.
All right. Okay, bye, honey.
Bye.
Hey, someone just said that a news lady spoke with the bio dad today, and there's supposed to be a report and info about it tomorrow.
Oh, well, I'm looking into that one. I'll wait for that because I'm really curious to see what this dad has to say. Like, honestly, I haven't seen much on him, but I'm still going down this rabbit hole, guys. I'm just finding bits and pieces here and there, trying to put things together myself. So I really have to do a lot more looking into it before I can even like comment on the dad. I didn't even touch him yet. You know what I mean? Like, my goal today was like,
Yeah.
is there a life insurance policy? Is there a, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's just so crazy to me though. But what really bothers me about it is the lack of motive. I need a motive. I need somebody to tell me that this was done for a reason. Now, the whole life insurance policy hurts my feelings because that could have been a motive, and I need to know why somebody does this. And so I think that's what frustrates me most in these cases, is that I need to know why. Just like Gypsy Rose, like, I don't have any clear motive. I need to know why. Now, I know we think it's because she wanted to sleep with guys or she didn't want to take care of her mom, but I need to know why. Somebody just tell me why. Yeah, all of it. I don't know how people think like this. It's so crazy to me. Absolutely crazy.
All of it's crazy.
Yeah, because you have a healthy brain. Yeah. Stitches wants to come up. Yeah.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Do you know why she did it?
I feel like, honestly, I've been watching every single one of your videos and your lives. I kind of feel like she did all this to be with the stepdad.
I agree. That's exactly where I'm leaning right now. Just because I don't know, that like I said, that stepdad gives me some creepy vibes.
The videos I've seen of him in the courtroom, as soon as they mention her name, he just lights up like a giggly little kid. And the same with her.
Yes,
And
you would
it's
think
very
that
odd.
he would act like that when you mention his wife.
Yeah, like when you
When you
meet your
mention his
first
wife,
love
you
or
usually
something,
get
you would get
extremely flat.
blushy and yeah.
Or
And then
either sad or happy, like, oh, I'm thinking about my wife and she was a great mom, and you know what I mean? Like, they used to play together, and when you're thinking about it when you're speaking, this like You know what I mean? There was none of that. And then it's like, you know what I mean? Or it could be sad, like, yeah, because she was a good mom, but there was no emotion coming from him at all.
I'm so confused at who the guy in the white shirt was that chased her in the backyard.
The guy in the white shirt that chased her in the backyard.
Yeah,
Wait, I don't know.
when she jumped over the fence, she was you can hear the stepdad yelling Carly, and she jumps over the fence and runs, and there's a guy in a white shirt. If you keep like let the video keep playing, there's a guy in a white shirt that jumps over and chases her.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
And I keep asking everybody, like, who was the guy in the white shirt? He does mention his son in a gray shirt, but I've never seen him in the videos. I've always seen the guy in the white shirt. Oh, the people in the
That's her
comments is saying
friend.
that's her friend.
That's right,
Okay.
because the friend was still in the backyard. She told the friend to stay in the backyard while she pew-pewed her stepfather. And
Okay,
that's
I
right.
was wondering
The
who
friend,
that
the
was.
friend did stay back there. That's right. I was like, wait, hold on. I was okay. That makes sense now with the black
And,
hair. Okay.
and then
That
she, I thought it was so weird how she only asked about the stepdad and not her mom, if she was
well,
okay.
that's what I'm saying. Like now she claims to have been in a blackout mode when it happened. She doesn't remember anything. So if you're in a blackout and you don't remember anything, then you don't remember your mother being gone. And so wouldn't your first reaction to be is how is my mom?
Exactly.
And
Like,
then maybe how is the stepdad? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you would really ask about your mom or your actual dad, not your step.
I think any child would actually, and I'm not saying this to offend anybody, but I think a child's first reaction is asked how mom is first.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because men just are like the stronger, like you know what I mean? It's like the mom is more the meek, and it's always like, is mom okay? I feel like, but again, you were so upset and so like blacked out, and you don't remember any of it that, like you didn't ask about your mother. And they said that on the stand that she had no concern for her mother. It was only the stepfather.
And the cop even mentioned that, and the guy tried to play the cop off in court like he was asking him more questions. And the cop was like, I found it really odd that she only asked about the
Like
dad.
that cop knew something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like that cop, she's absolutely correct. It was almost like that cop knew something. That cop knew something was wrong with that stepfather. And I agree with you. Absolutely, in my opinion, he knew something was wrong with that stepfather.
I kind of feel like her stepfather is the one that got her the toy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's really what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Like, did they use it together when mama's not there? Like, you just don't know.
Exactly. When the mom wasn't there, they were probably experimenting and stuff and came up with this whole scheme because why would you just go pew pew your mom and only graze him in the shoulder?
Well, that's another thing too. The whole, and then him saying that, she was like she saw a monster, she was screaming and terrified and shaking and scared, and where? Where?
Exactly.
I on a regular day I'm not that cool, calm, and collected. Like my anxious self, just normally under any certain normal circumstances. And she's just sitting there all chilling, like, all right, let me
Playing on her phone. I would have passed out, honestly.
Singing a
Like, that's
song.
too much.
Yeah, I don't like if I ever off somebody, I think I would just go into a complete like I don't think I'd be able to move. I think it'd be frozen.
Yeah.
She just carries on like, all right, well, let me text the stepdaddy here now. And again, I believe that text message was more of like a, hey, the job is done. It's time for the second
Exactly.
plan.
They had to have planned that, and they claimed that she was in this weird state, but she was obviously checking around. She knew what she was doing. She knew where the cameras were, because as soon as she walked out of the living room part, she kept looking around and trying to hide things behind her back. She knew exactly where that camera was.
Yeah, absolutely. And you gotta wonder, was the mother was in her room, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mother was in Carly's room,
Yes.
unalived in Carly's room. You're sitting there, you're looking for this vape. She was in there supposedly looking for the vape and stuff like that, right? So she was in there searching Carly's room. You gotta wonder if she was worried about her finding something else. Like you hid the
What?
vape, you didn't hit the sex toy. First of all, that doesn't make any
Maybe
sense.
that's what she thought she was
I'd
looking
much
for, was
rather
the
my
sex
child
toy.
hide the sex toy than hide the vape. I'll deal with the vape, but the sex toy, like
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
would have been
way,
worried about, but
that's
not the
way
vape.
too much.
But you got to wonder, like, what was she worried about the mother finding? What did she put in her back before she ran out of the house? And then she took off and did what with what? You
How
know,
did, I'm so
you
confused
are
at when
on
she
something.
got to
Is it
the,
right?
yes, when she got to the kitchen, I got so confused because you can obviously see she's trying to hide I think it was the gun behind her back. What the hell did she just
Now,
disappear?
she was hiding the gun behind her back, but what else was she hiding behind her back? What did she was not murdering her mother, afraid her mother was going to find a vape. She was
Yeah,
not in there. I mean, maybe
maybe
not
she was
even
looking for the diary.
actually. You know what I mean? She wasn't trying to worry about the diary because, you know what I mean? Like, there was something in that room, I feel like, that mother was going to find, and she was panicked. Was it someone, Paul D just said love letters, pictures, right? You know what I mean?
Yes.
The burner phones that she had, like, you got to wonder what pictures were once on those things.
Or maybe a video, anything.
And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to me. You just don't know what she left that house with that day. She could have left with whatever was the motive.
Pretty
You know
much
what I mean?
all of TikTok is thinking exactly what we're thinking. I've seen so many comments on this. I don't know how the cops haven't already gotten a hold of this and investigated the stepdad.
Like you said, that one officer knew something was up with that stepdad. But the problem is that no district attorney or prosecutor or whoever is dealing with the case is going to, it's a slam dunk case. We got her on video. She's admitted it. Like, why are we going to waste money? And why are we going to drag this out when we got piled up 50 million cases here? She already said she did it. We caught her doing it. Like, let's call it a day, shut it up, move on, bang, get her to trial, and let's just move on. You got to wonder if these cops weren't like, let's just do more investigating. These people were like, let's just call it a case. The case was already won for them. They didn't have to, in their minds, they didn't have to look into anything else. And that wouldn't be the first time that happened,
And I found his screaming and stuff so hysterical on the stretcher. When they had him on the stretcher, his screams and his cries were so fake.
The Academy Award, man, was just absolutely unbelievable. He was putting on a show, like, for
Yeah.
what though? Like, why were you putting on
I think he was trying to kill time for her.
And again, falling to the ground, like, you had a scratch on you had a boo-boo on your shoulder. Like, stop it now. I've stubbed my toe worse. And you're laying on the ground, like, you know what I mean? After you answered the door, standing upright.
Yeah,
And
and
so-
he just laid there on the floor and just went all crazy.
And you could see the paramedics trying not to laugh. Like, all right there, buddy, here's the Band-Aid. You want to put it on yourself? Let me do it? Like, stop now. You're up in the stretcher, like, yeah.
Do you just give up?
And he looked more like he was trying so hard to fake it that it wasn't. You can't even sit there and be like, well, he was scared. Because I'm sure that's a frightening, you know what I mean? Somebody's coming at you with a pew-pew. Like, I'm sure that is, like, completely frightening. But he didn't look shaken, though. He didn't look anxious or shaking. He just looked like,
Like, I gotta play my part now.
yes, when kids do that fake crying, when they're just like, and they're doing that fake crying because they want something, and there's no tears coming, it's like that fake, that's what it looked like to me.
It did. That's exactly why I thought it was so hysterical.
I
I was
really
like,
don't
dude,
believe
just
he was
stop
in
your
shock.
show.
I really don't believe he was in shock, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm-mm.
And then you
He
got
wasn't shaken or anything.
Did they test? No, they tested her for GSR. We watched it in the back of the cop car. Did anybody ever test him?
I don't think they did.
Like,
They should have tested anybody that was there, for anything.
you would think, because if you're wrestling her with the gun and you say it went off twice, then one, that would prove, that could, one of two things that proves that: one, that you did it yourself and they would have to, or two, that she actually did wrestle you with the pew-pew in your hand and it went off, because the GSR would transfer to him as well.
Yes.
So did anybody ever confirm that he had, you know what I mean? Like,
Somebody in the comments said, yes, he shot.
yes, He
He
shot
said he shot.
like himself?
I think that's what they were saying.
I think the scream from her, yeah, definitely, possibly. I think she could have been that good of a shot to her mom. You know, that's what I don't understand too, is that she was moving. The woman could have turned, ran. We don't know what position she was in when she was in that room. Like, she was a moving target for the girl. A moving target. She had an entire room to move around in. You know what I mean? So she still got her. Smack dead in the face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bam!
It was so sad hearing her
Now
mom's
this
last
guy is
scream.
coming in a door, he's not moving anywhere. He doesn't have anywhere to go. Okay? And you missed him? Like, he was literally opened the door and it was like, he was shot. He was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you had the whole surprise thing going for you too, because he was surprised. Like, your first reaction isn't going to be like, oh, let me go after the gun. Any of us walk into a door and there's something pointing at us, we're all going to be like, wait, hold on. It takes your brain a second to realize what's going on. Like, wait, hold on. And then maybe lunge. But you didn't just automatically lunge, because let's be real. I see something pointing at me. I'm dead stop for a second. I'm a deer in headlights. Then I'll react maybe, but no. Like, I'm got to stop for a second, and my brain's got to register. I wasn't expecting it. I was coming in a door. And so your brain's got to register, like, whoa, what's happening here? And so she missed you, stopped, still in front of her, but the moving target got it 3 times in the head? Okay, if you say so.
And I
Just
felt
saying.
so bad for her mom because you can hear her last screams. It was just so sad.
Now, didn't she put something over her face, too?
Yeah, they said that she put a red towel over her face,
That
and
was
when
it.
she went, yeah, and then when she went to show the friend, she positioned her mom's hands like crisscross on her chest. That's so sketchy.
Like this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that's...
That's why they got her with tampering with evidence.
Hey, Dave. Dave's like, it's 11:45. Do you know where your kids are? Yeah, right upstairs in bed. I'm good.
Exactly where they're supposed to be.
This, I feel like, again, this left so many questions, and it's just left me so unsettled that to feel like there's more to it than what people are. And again, not that I think that this girl should get out. I'm not sitting here acting like, oh, she didn't do it, she needs to get out. I just feel like somebody else deserves to be in there with her. You know what I mean? And I think that's Stepfather, in my opinion. For
My mouth dropped whenever that girl said that she got her nips pierced. I was like, oh my God.
That's like 14. My 16-year-old, I'd rip them right out.
Oh my
You think
God.
I'm kidding? No, they would get, you'll never want them again. Like, that's just, to me, that is just, it's unnecessary unless you think someone's going to see them. And if you're 14 and thinking someone's going to see them, that's a whole different conversation and a whole different,
Exactly. Like, what are you doing at 14 years old with that kind of jewelry?
we're going to talk about curfew now. We're going to talk about where you're going after school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to go on a little bit of a lockdown. And again, not that kids aren't going to go out and have relationships and you know what I mean? But again, like, we're going to have a whole talk, and I'm going to hold off until I know that you know what you're talking about. Now, I'm going to educate you, and we're going to sit home for a couple of weeks while I educate you and make sure that you're extremely educated before you go out and make these choices again. You know what I mean? So it's just really, I don't know.
I really do, in my heart, I really do believe that the stepdad is in on this, and he needs to be further investigated. And how he's trying to pawn everything off on her real father with being creepy with her, I feel like that's him trying to diverse it onto him to kind of get it off of himself.
You know, part of me thinks like it's not a far stretch to say that the father did something to her. I mean, he's a drug addict. He wasn't the best dad. He wasn't, you know what I mean? There's no proof of anything, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? It's not a far stretch to say a man can do that. But it's like, first of all, you know what I mean? I haven't seen this guy. I would like to see whatever interview is going to happen, if there really actually is going to be one. But I would love to see it. You know what I mean? Because this guy gives me, if it wasn't her, he's touching somebody else. That is I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I get
he's a
kid sucking
pervert.
vibes from this guy.
He's a
I know
creeper.
that look that man gave her. We've all seen that look before. I know that look. You can't. There's nobody telling me that guy isn't creepy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's a big creeper thing about him, and he gives everybody like these eerie vibes. And the way he also mouthed something else to her other than "I love you." He also mouthed something else during court. He kept looking down as if he were praying, and then he glanced up at her, and he said something. And the judge asked her to not look at him.
Stop it! Really? I missed that part. I gotta watch this whole thing front to back.
Yes. And he keeps he
Who
looked
was
up
on the
and
stand? Was he on the stand with that one?
no, he was on the side, and the judge was asking her questions, and she would turn her head and look at her stepdad, and he kept mouthing stuff like other things, and the judge said, "Hey, no, look at me." He goes, "And only me, and you're he said, "You're the only one that's going to be making these decisions."
See, if you remember what part that is in, do me a favor and send it to me. So
Yes, definitely.
I'm really curious. It's on Court TV, guys, and Law and Crime, I think, has the whole trial as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, is it possible? Now, what makes me think that the father didn't actually do anything to her biological father, is because, well, wouldn't that be a great defense?
Yes.
If he really did something, wouldn't you be like, yeah, look, I'm a victim? Because, all these murderers are always victims of SA. I'm just saying. I'm just laying that out there. Like, that's the most, heartfelt crime. People have the most sympathy and empathy for that kind of crime. And so I feel like that's the first thing all of these say. Like, that's the first thing that comes out of their mouth is Casey Anthony. You got the Menendez brothers. You got all of them, Gypsy Rose, all of them have been SA'd because, again, gets the most sympathy. But I feel like if she really was SA'd by the father, she would have used that as a defense. Now people are going to sit there and be like, well, she was SA'd by the stepfather. Wouldn't she use that as a defense? Well, no, because I think that they actually might have wanted to be together. He may actually have wanted to be with her because these psychos that are attracted and think they love these little girls, it's a thing. He may have actually been attracted to her and felt like he loved her, and maybe he wanted to be with her.
And she wanted to be with him too, like you can
Maybe
see
in
it.
his mind they had some kind of relationship.
Yeah, you can see it. And then the poor mom, if he was already grooming her at the age of 14, could you imagine how much younger she probably was when it all started? Like, that's sickening to think about.
So Beck said if there was no contact rule between them and the judge kept telling her not to look at him, why? Why did the judge tell him not to look at her? I'm assuming the no contact order was because he was her victim. And so you really can't have contact with the victims and stuff like that. Like, I would assume that that's why that there was a no contact order between the two, was because that's the perpetrator and that's the victim. Why aren't they investigating him any further? Because I feel like the prosecutor was just like, whatever, it's a slam dunk case. Let's get her convicted and move on. I mean, they weren't going to lose that. Even on the insanity plea, there was no way that she was getting off on that. There was just no way in my mind.
Yeah, she is so young, and to have all this stuff, nobody just up and pew-pews their mom like that. I feel like there just had to be something behind this.
Yeah. Jenna, he hired his own personal lawyer to have the no contact order rescinded. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. I didn't mean to say that, he was looking, the judge didn't tell him not to look at her. He told her not to look at him in court. That's what I was saying. But yeah, it was really eerie because she kept looking off to the side of, looking at him. And he kept just mouthing little stuff in court. And at the first time they looked at each other, they both said, "I love you." You can clearly read that off their lips. But then the second time he looked at her, they were trying to decide something. And he kept mouthing something to her. And the judge told her not to look at him.
So Jen, the grandparents were in the court. She was talking to them, joking around with them, and yeah, they were having a grand old time in there too. We're talking about a whole family reunion. But the maternal grandparents were in the courtroom. Yeah, And she was talking to them. And again, that's my child that you just unalived. I feel like there might be a little bit of tension there, but apparently not with this family. They don't hold grudges. They're not like my big old Italian family that holds, you know.
I'm telling you what, I would not ever
You can't hear me?
be okay. We can hear you.
Okay.
Just somebody else said that they can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay. It's low. Oh, maybe I might be. My air conditioner's on, so that might be. Is that better? Look, I'm all up. I'm pulling the NC thing. Like, hello.
Yeah, I would be so angry and devastated if somebody in my family ever done something like this. I don't think I would be smiling and giggling with them in court.
I wouldn't be. If first of all, if I was facing life in prison, I wouldn't be laughing and giggling at anybody ever, anytime during that entire thing.
He's just
I don't think I'd laugh,
emotionless.
smile, look at anybody, make eye contact. I think I'd sit there and weep and hope for some sympathy. That's just me. Because at that point, you're fighting for your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I was the family members, I would
She's just casually
I
drinking.
could go. I wouldn't even show up. I'm that person. I don't even know if I would go.
She's just casually drinking a Coke like nothing happened.
Yeah. And you know, I get that, you know, time has passed and like, you know what I mean? Like you have to move on and like, so that's not in the forefront of her head anymore, maybe. But at least care enough to put on an act if you know that somebody's watching you to put you away for life. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? She thought it was so in the bag that you didn't even if I wasn't upset, I sure as hell would act like it. I'd be sitting there bawling in a ball. Oh my God, they're watching me. They're going to put me in jail. You know what I mean? Like I would at least put on an act as part of my defense. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she
Like, why would you
acted
sit there and giggle? I need you to put on a show now. Now is when you need to put on a show.
completely heartless, soulless, just didn't care the whole time in court, and it was sad to watch.
Yeah, same thing with the stepdad. Like, if you guys were putting on a show and you didn't want to, you would have been bawling over there. I would have had the grandparents in the back. Everyone start crying. Ah, I want the grandmother to almost pass out. So these people feel some empathy for this family, and that don't want the girl, even after she unalived your wife and unalived your daughter, you still don't want her to go away. Like, I would have been like, that's it, Academy Award. We're all going down with it. Like, I would have been like, that would have been my attorney advice. Put on an effing show. iPad twice. I want you to almost pass out back there from grief for this poor girl who didn't mean to off your daughter. Like, you know what I mean? Something, but there was nothing. She's sitting there sipping, she's giggling, and she's biting her nails, and she's playing games, and she's coloring, and it's like weird. And he's sitting there like,
Like he's praying.
it's like half the trial, like when they were reading the thing, and he's like, "What the hell are you like? Where are you trying to go? Another realm? Like what's happening here?"
And I want to know what she was giggling about on that paper. That's what I want to know.
You know what I mean? Like we people see that, even if the jury didn't see that, the judge sees that. People see that. Effing cry, man. That's your best bet is to cry that constantly, nonstop. Until you're dehydrated and you can't stand up at the end of it. You cry. You keep crying. That would always be my advice to anybody who sat on next to me in a courtroom. It's just effing cry. That's all you do. You let me take care of the rest. You cry. You do your part, I'll do mine. Not sitting there joking around, like, flicking hair and receiving I love yous from stepdaddy. Like, y'all are creepy. Like, cry.
That whole family was creepy. The grandparents didn't even shed a tear.
Well, that's what no one was. They're freaking laughing and joking around like Sunday dinner. Like, what's happening here? Again, my advice would be like, you let me handle the arguments and you let me handle the, you know what I mean, the lawyer shit, and use all effing cry. You cry about even though she killed your daughter, I love my granddaughter and she didn't mean to, and you cry that I love my wife but she didn't mean to. Use all effing cry. As a big fucking happy family, I need you all to effing cry. Look like you gave a shit about this woman. Not a single one of these people looked like they gave a shit about this woman. And my cat Shadow just scared the crap out of me because the main light was off and I saw it on the wall and I just looked for a second and that just scared me. So there's that. Okay?
They're like, I'll see you next Thanksgiving. It'll be okay.
Right?
Cast the gravy.
But I mean, none of them looked like they gave a crap about this mom who was supposedly a great mom, and like, the woman's dead, guys. Like, come on. Cry. MFers, cry. Do something. Make somebody feel bad for you. Like, we were all aggravated at I was aggravated at every single one of them. I wanted to slap the girl upside the head and be like, you deserve to rot in prison now. The stepfather, someone to shackle you and go put you with Bub in cell block C. Grandparents back there, like, he's all retarded. Like, talk about life insurance policies. Well, let's get a few on them, because this is getting a little crazy.
I literally died laughing whenever I seen you go outside and ask your husband about the life insurance.
I'm not gonna lie, that creeped me out.
Oh my God.
And I'm checking tomorrow. I really am, because I'm not one of those people who thinks crap don't, happen to me. Like,
Oh my God. I died laughing as soon as you did that.
seriously, my husband would be like, listen, like, we're getting a little older. We still got the kids here. Like, I heard a cough. Are you gonna be all right? Don't leave me with all the kids by myself. Like, not without a life insurance policy for a nanny.
God.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Gaga. It's sorry. I just go on a rant. That was, if I did say it, I apologize.
She didn't mean to say it, guys.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, sometimes I just go on my rants and I get so angry I don't pay attention.
She doesn't mean it the way that it's.
Honestly, I probably said more offensive things than that. I'm just saying. But again, I apologize for all of it. I'm not trying to offend anybody for anything.
But yes, the whole case is really, really weird. And I hope that they do end up
guys, got you.
I hope they do end up investigating the stepdad, because he's really sketchy.
Yeah, he's sketchy. He absolutely is sketchy. Absolutely. You gotta wonder if, she's gonna appeal. They said that they were gonna do appeal. There's something they gotta do first. They gotta put paperwork in or whatever has to go in first. And again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't have any law education. But they are going to, I think it's a month, she said, I'm not sure, but they're going to put in the appeal. So they're going to go in for an appeal. But you got to wonder if, they're not going to find some more evidence, or some stories are going to come out, or something's going to change to make this whole case change, so that the whole thing gets, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
I think
That's
they
what I'm
definitely
thinking.
have something happen.
Yeah.
I think the more time she's gonna sit in there, like within a year or so, we're gonna hear her come out with a story and tell us everything that we were thinking. And they're gonna make a Netflix series like they did with all the.
You on that? Yes, I agree with you.
I feel like that's going to come out. A neighbor is going to come out and say something. My friend is going to say, you know what she said to me? Let me tell you what she told me. Because as you get older, you get more guts and you're not so scared. So a friend is going to admit something that she told them. A grandparent's going to, you know what I mean? Somebody's going to say something. Again, there's no such thing as secrets in this world. If, you know what I mean? If more than one person knows. So something somewhere is going to come out. And whether it be for a defense or somebody else just brings this story out and about and brings it up. And, you got to remember, she's still a minor. So it's like, yeah, can it be charged? Like, will we see the father of Carly Gray?
She was 14. If she was with the dad, I just want to say, does anybody think about that? If she's going to be in jail for a long time, right? Now, as a girl in prison for a long time, your feelings might change about the stepdaddy in a year or less, and then when she says to them, well, I was with him, I was dating him, blah, 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 they might talk her into hey, you should tell people that he was trying to sleep with you and stuff. If he thinks that she's going to keep this secret for the rest of her life, bow, no, she's not. Sorry.
I think that he's really upset. Thank you, guys. I think that he's really upset because, one, he's had to have promised her that she was going to get out based on the fact that she was a kid. I don't think that he thought for a second that at 14 they were going to try her as an adult. I really think the whole mental health thing, that I'm sure they had that in the bag. They thought that was definite. There was no doubt in my mind that he told her that you were not going to go away for life. And he looked shook when she was sentenced. And he looked really panicked because, again, she might have been like, this didn't play out like you said it would, and now I'm stuck in here. And if you guys noticed, when they read the conviction, the verdict, she was absolutely hysterical. That's the only time I've ever seen real emotion from anybody in that family, was at that moment. Then they go out, and the jury is deciding on the sentencing. Then she comes back in completely calm as a cucumber, guys. She didn't look upset. She wasn't crying. They told her, life, 10 years, and she was just like, cool. She wasn't crying. She wasn't nothing. The life sentences is where I would have cried, not the guilty verdict. Because they could have been like 10 years or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what their statute or their things are, but you know what I mean? Like, that's when I would have cried, be hearing that I got 2 life sentences plus 10. Like, the 2 life sentences weren't bad enough. You had to add the 10 on top of it, like, in case I, lived to be 190. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, which I never really understood the life sentence thing. Like, 2 life sentences, like, can only live once, so there's that. But, just when you think life in prison can't be worse, you're gonna do it twice. Like, I don't get that. But, that's when I would have cried, though, was hearing that. That's honestly when I would have cried.
Yeah,
Like,
she showed no emotions at
that's
all.
in reality, that part, she was just like, all right, she came back in. She wasn't red-eyed anymore. She wasn't upset. It's like, whatever. So they had to have told her, like, hey, we'll appeal it. We got something up our sleeve. We got something else that we can do. Like, there's got to be something more. And then you also got to be careful because, again, this woman did this pro bono. This woman is working for free with this case. She's not being paid for this. So it's like, we'll see how that goes.
Whenever she gets of age, if they do somehow manage to keep this weird secret relationship rolling, if she gets of age and he goes back and like marries her and they let the cat out of the bag, that's going to be so dang weird.
No, let her find out he's dating someone on the outside and you'll see shit hit the fan.
Oh, yes.
Don't be caught out there having another woman because that's when she's going to flip out. Because that's what I'd be pissed off. I did all this and you're going to go date this chick? Oh, no. No. Now I want to talk. Get me a reporter. I sure would, because what do I got to lose? I got 2 life sentences. Like, I got to die and come back and do a whole nother one. Like, it doesn't get worse than this. So let me tell you. I'd be like, listen, that's where a book is going to come out. Like, and again, he's going to make the movie, not her. It's going to be him. It's going to be his story.
Netflix is going to get real interesting when their story comes out.
Guaranteed. Like, you got to sit here going, I wonder who's going to play her, What's the face that played Gypsy? Like, what's she doing? Got a job for you, chica.
That Gypsy Rose story was crazy too.
How did I get a violation? For what?
Violation.
Apparently I got a violation.
Oh, wow.
My email's ivoryknows@gmail.com. All right, guys, let me run through this really quick just in case I get knocked off here. If I ever get knocked off here and I can't go live here, you guys can catch me over at my backup page at The Ivory Rose. So it's just The Ivory Rose, and I will go live over there if you guys ever don't find me over here. So there's that, just in case I get knocked and booted off this one, which could potentially happen because I'm getting hit hard. Also, guys, if you guys are over at YouTube and you don't follow me, can you please follow me? Subscribe, like my stuff, show me some love over there. And that's also Ivory Rose Knows on YouTube. And then, like, that's not enough homework for you guys.
Homework.
My begging butt over here. We also have a podcast on Spotify. You can find it on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and it's also Ivory Rose Knows. So if you guys can show some love there, everywhere, all over the place, like you guys got nothing to do, I'm just going to have you checking websites all night. That's it. So yeah, for some reason, Apple keeps kicking me back, and it's because of some passcode that it's not taking from me. So I'm working on Apple. So just give that some time. It's coming. But yeah, apparently Apple doesn't like me just because it won't take some passcode to keep. It's sending me a passcode, not taking it. So there's that. Talk about a mind F, But yes, it's midnight already. I got to get to sleep. I got to get up with the kids. Stitches, thank you so much for coming up.
Moo just yawned. He just yawned
like,
as you did.
She's turning the camera off. I can go back to my bed now. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you for having us.
No problem.
Good night, Ducky.
Thank you guys for everything, for all of the gifts, for coming here, hanging out, having a chat. And if you guys find out anything, email me and let me know about it. You guys are so good with it, and so I really appreciate you guys doing that. Good night, guys.
Good night. Thank you.